has going to come into the room. Just be patient with us till we get the chat screen up. But we're going to do it today. We're going to talk about Come Sunday. Of course, the movie with Carlson Pearson. We're going to talk about, the movie. If we enjoyed it, if we enjoyed the route he took, his awakening, if you want to call it that, and just the movie overall. How did you guys like it? So whenever you guys are available, if you hear me now, you can go ahead and begin to comment if you did like the movie or not, what you thought of it, and we'll get into it. So, and welcome in everyone. So very happy to have you guys in the room today. What's up, Manila? I see you. What's up, Courtney? I see you, brother. Let's see here. Candy, how you doing? Andre, what's going on? Maurice, peace, fam. EAE, haven't seen it yet, but it's on my watch list. Okay, fantastic, man. You're going to get some spoilers, man, so hopefully you're okay with that. I ain't going to give away too many spoilers. We're just going to talk about certain scenes in it. Greetings, young elder. Donella, hey. I'm going to call you Wills. You call me Wes, I'm going to call you Will. How about that? I'm kidding. Erica, how you doing? Let's see, Courtney, I thought it was great. Of course, I wanted to hit him. I wanted him to do more questions. I agree, Courtney. Jay Finesse, hey, brother. Let's see, Dark Energy Star Child, yo. The True Elohim, what's up, fam? Victoria Hall, you enjoyed the movie? Okay, cool. Tiana Waller, hey. Erica, Harvey, you lost weight? Yes, I did. 60 pounds and counting. I'm about to start lifting, though, so I got to put some more weight back on. Hi, it's Nikki. Peace to you. It's Nikki. It's great. Young Elder, thank you very much for the donation. We appreciate it. Guys, just with that donation being given, if you do receive something from the show and it does help you, we would love for you to donate. Any monies that you give will be appreciated, and it does help with us to continue to do this. So thank you guys very much in advance. Peace, I am set. If I missed somebody above, I actually know. Let me go back down because I want to get everybody at first. Chris, hi. Tina, hey. I am set. Peace. Brandon Jackson, what it do? Trish, hello. Marvin Hodge, what's up? KB said, I went further into the awakening, honestly. World must not be ready yet. I agree, KB. The world is not ready for a lot of what we have to say. This is why we get the anger and the hostility. Anthony, hello, how you doing? Reggie, what's up? Devo, let's see, you watching it with your pops in Chicago? That's what's up. Shout out to Chicago. I see here it was more about the gay agenda that I did not like. Okay. See here, Dornella. It was good. Okay, it's all good. Okay. Shocking Shelly. Hello, Shelly. Just tuned in. Well, welcome in. God is majestic. Peace. Actually, God is majestic says peace to everyone, which is beautiful. Man, I'm honored, the Shadow. I love to give you guys information. Love to try to do whatever I can to contribute to our awakening as much as possible. Thank you very much, Anthony Baker, for the donation. To see Patrice says, I thought I was going to do Ray Hagans for a while. I thought he was going to do a Ray Hagans for a while. Hey, what you're looking at is his beginning of his awakening. He could move further along. I think he has moved further along now, of course. We'll get into that too. But I feel you what you say. I was wanting him to do a complete 360 as well. Or 180. I think 360 is to end up going back in the same direction. I don't know my degrees is. The gentleman, Mr. B. What's up, man? Valerie, hello, love. Courtney, thank you very much for the donation, brother. We appreciate it. Cedric Peace King. He came to the logo. I'm getting ready to watch it. Nah, man, you got to stay right here. Bringing my wife into this viewing. Welcome in. Welcome in. Hopefully she hears what something that can help her out, Brian. Peace, Miller. Peace. True Elohim. Say it ain't with that either, bro. It ain't natural. I got you. Peace, Paula. Pamela. Sorry about that. No Name Rose D. Seeing the movie was very emotional for me. I get that. Maybe if it was the rejection. It was emotional for me on the rejection part. I actually feel you. I went through that, so I actually know exactly what that feels like. So Man, when everybody looking at you, telling you wrong, and you know you're not, and you looking at these people dead in their face, and you can tell that they're sincere, they really feel that you're wrong, man, it'll bother you because you grew up with them, you know them. It hurts, it really does, that they don't trust you. Like all the time you've been with them, they can't even research what you're saying. They telling you wrong. They say you wrong, and they ain't even researched what you said. So if I'm presenting to you new information, how can you tell me I'm wrong? Like you ain't even looked it up yet. Like you gotta, okay, that's new. Let me go look it up. How you gonna tell me I'm wrong? You ain't look it up though. Like that's just cold blooded. Because everybody around you think you know what you're talking about. They're not even gonna look up what I'm saying now because you want to be a jerk about it. So can you come to Madison? Actually, man, I would love to come to Madison. So it's all up to you guys. So Candy Ammo, thank you very much for the donation.
I just found
Thank
this
you,
part
Ammo.
funny when he was in church and he did it. Like he read the scriptures and he was like, I hate it. I don't
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it.
Yeah, they couldn't handle it. Even though they was reading the scriptures from their Bible because it disagreed with what they was taught, it was a problem. Lighthouse in the building, I see you. Anybody who know the Lighthouse, that's Jamar and company, and we welcome you guys in, no doubt about it. I like to say I'm part of the Lighthouse. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, we all in this together. So, progress, not perfection. The movie happens nearly 20 years. Exactly, Eden. I agree. It was definitely progress. What up, y'all? Sam I am says. What movie we talking about? Candy says. Mila says. We're talking about Come Sunday. It's on Netflix. It's that Carlton Pearson's movie. So definitely. Let's see here. Donella says. I'm going to check you out, Donella. I got you. Donella said, I have to find a spot. I have to find a spot where there are more conscious people. Everybody in Pittsburgh are zombies. Listen, I agree with you. Matter of fact, guys, unfortunately, I had to cancel the Charlotte show. Nobody bought tickets. Nobody was interested, or they didn't see it, whatever the case may be. But I'm not willing to, lose money investing into a deposit for a building and no tickets have sold or anything like that, or not enough tickets have sold or whatever. I had a person purchase, but they thought it was for next month. I'm going to say this one is on me because the first time I put that video out or this show out, I actually said it was next month and not this month. So I'm going to chalk it up to me. I didn't realize it until a week later that I actually said with my mouth it was in May and not April. So that one's on me. But the one for Atlanta is still set up for the Apache Lounge. So you guys, it's 26th of next month. So y'all just let me know if y'all want to do that one. Because, again, if you guys are not going to be interested in showing up to these things, I'm not going to put the deposits on them. I really need you guys to show me you're interested. So if you're in Atlanta, man, give me a 1 or something and let me know if you will be interested. Just hit 1 for me. That way we know you're interested. And I'll continue with the promotion and getting everything ready for Atlanta because it's really embarrassing. It hurt my feelings a little bit. But again, at the end of the day, nobody likes to put up a show and nobody buy tickets. But at the end of the day, to me, even if it's just to make myself feel better, I'm going to say I came to the conclusion that I said the date wrong, and that's why y'all didn't buy tickets. So this one's on me. But I really hope you guys are interested in mingling. Of course, there will be a lecture given anytime that I speak. Anytime Lorenzo shows up, because this was a Lorenzo and myself engagement. So we're always going to give you guys information. But after the engagement, after we speak, of course, there will be mingling. There'll be drinking, eating, and things like that for you to actually get to know each other on a personal level, get to know us on a personal level. We'll party with y'all. So that's what will happen in Atlanta if you guys are interested. So just keep me posted and let me know. I'll put the Eventbrite up. Actually, I'll have it up tomorrow for you guys. So maybe that was my problem too with the Charlotte event. I put the Eventbrite up only 2 weeks before because I was planning Apache Lounge and it turned out I couldn't book the day I tried to book. So I switched it to Charlotte on short notice and it did not do what I was hoping it would do. So we're going to have to. I see some ones, great. So Atlanta is interested, so that's cool. Now, y'all who put in ones, I'm going to need y'all to get a ticket soon as I put this Eventbrite up, just so I don't get discouraged, okay? So, day by day goes by, y'all not getting tickets. That is very scary for me because these places want you to put a deposit up, and I ain't going to get my deposit back, and I'm already struggling. So, just to be honest with y'all, so make sure you show interest in the shows if y'all want to get out and have a good time. Thank you very much, Sean Jones, for the donation. Thank you much, Rolling Thunder, for the donation. I really appreciate that. Valerie says, I asked my bishop, Pentecostal daddy, a bishop who preaches you're going to hell. I told him to stop preaching that, and he has. That's actually powerful. That's pretty cool. What happened from that? Did he tell him he wasn't preaching hell anymore, or did he just stop? See, I was talking to Jehovah's Witnesses. They refused to even read from their Bible. I thought they went to the street to preach. Yeah, I know, right? Because I come where you are, need a vacation from this place. Okay, that's cool. That's what's up, Darnella. You feel like that movie didn't get the pod yet. Okay. What's up, Dark Knowledge? As a matter of fact, Josh say, if you don't have a Facebook page, how do I donate? I want to donate to you, Uncle Renz and Jamal. Well, I have a donate link in this actual description of this video, I believe. Yep. So, and then, of course, Jamar and Lorenzo's, I don't have those with me, of course. But I'll tell you what, if you don't mind, I'll get that for you, or you can go to their sites and be able to get that from them from there. But I don't have that information on me. I probably should, because I work with them very often. So, and I should probably give them my information as well. So that would be really nice to just work together in that way. See here. He just stopped. Okay. I mean, that makes sense. I would probably just stop too before saying otherwise, because you don't want to speak on something until you know that you know. So I definitely respect that. That's great. Speak your mind. Absolutely, Mill. I will. It's almost like they can't wait to see you suffer for not believing. Dude, it's true. True, LO. Man, you know how many people who have said, matter of fact, when that video went viral over a year ago, they was like, oh, he's doing well. He in sales. He making good money. Let's check him out a year from now. And this is one of the things I keep saying to a lot of people who are like-minded like myself. I keep telling y'all, do not let me fail, because when believers see me, what appears to be failing monetarily, they associate that with God cursing me. So you have to understand that if I fail or seem to fail, so many people are going to run back to their beliefs saying, look what happened to him. He stepped out. And they're not looking at, you're in a demographic that's widely lean towards Christianity. And if you step out saying that Christianity is not, there's no evidence to prove it, then you can actually be hurt in a lot of ways, because majority overrules. They're going to see it as God cursing you, personally cursing you. That's how they see it. So that's why I always keep saying to guys, do not let me fail, because they cannot wait to see that. So yeah, you're right, True Elohim. Patrice Dames, thank you very much. Eden, I saw your name, so you know I want to read it. I feel your frustration, Kev. Too many believe they're saying they're interested and actually enough to make something happen. And that's true. We have to understand how to make what we say we desire come to life with action. And that's not the easy part. You feel me? Like, it's easy to talk about it. It's easy to want change. But what's hard is actually doing it, because exactly what Papa put, fear is real. False evidence appearing real. False evidence appearing real. FEAR, fear. That is a real thing. What you think is going to happen may not happen, but because you feel like you may be an outcast or get attacked, anything like that, you're going to be reluctant to deliver truth, because, again, fear is a hell of a drug, man. So, honestly, thank you, True Elohim. I appreciate that. You know I got y'all, too. I sacrifice myself every Sunday for y'all, so. Let's see here. Matter of fact, Josh, didn't you have someone who was coming onto the chat, or were they already on?
He said, I'm out, but I'll be on next week. So I'm like, all right, whatever.
Okay. Everybody tune in next week. Trust me, you don't want to miss it.
If I don't put too much faith in this person, this guest person. It would be funny if they can show up, but yeah, don't hold your breath. I don't trust. I don't have faith in regular people.
Right.
But anyways.
Well, if I don't like to put too much information out, but it's a brother who feels that they have some personal information on my background, things that I may have did in the past that they want to bring to the light to share with all of you guys, and I'm willing to let them. I am willing to let them. I do have a past. I am a living being. I didn't just exist yesterday, so there were things that I have done in my past, and I believe that he wanted to try to present those things, and I was going to let him. So if you guys are available next week, if he's going to be on, I'm going to have him come on and present what he thinks is me, or what he's accusing me of. So that'll be a really great dialogue. If it's me, we'll deal with it. If it's not, then we'll have to show him that it's not and go from there. So
Kevin Wesley exposed live.
Kevin Wesley exposed, and hey, listen, I'm willing to go through that. So I'm willing to be exposed live. On Thank you, Eden. The side face, that's just you can I can't even help it. I don't know if you was watching last week, Eden, but I was like, if I go to church now, I'm going to have the side face the entire time they preaching. Like from the moment they call the preacher's name to the minute that he end and lets the service go, my face is going to be complete side face the entire time. He's just going to say, good morning, everybody. I'm already over there like, because I don't trust him. I already know he's going to come off with some BS. So we already know that. So listen, guys, let's get into it. What did you guys think of the show? So I'll give you guys a moment to dialogue and a little bit comment what you guys thought of the show, and we'll go from there before I get into it. What's up, Alteric? Star Child, what's going on? If you're dealing with Donald Trump, racist. Okay. I can't with you. Come on, Eden. You know it's true. If you went to church too, you're going to have a side face too. None of us will be able to hold our face straight in church today. Not with the knowledge we have. Right? I was going to take this dude and start preaching the scripture and you're just going to laugh. Like, you're going to be looking at him like, you really going to try to make that make sense, dude? Like, come on now. Honestly, man, I saw it when I went to my sister's funeral. You can see that it's a show. You can see when they play the music. Like, whenever you've been removed from church for a while, you can literally see the show. You can see it. So, okay, so his nigga said they didn't watch it. Okay. Chris Blanks, that's a very interesting question. Why is he bringing evidence to prove Jesus existed and trying to bring up the past about you? Listen, man, when you give people information that they cannot handle, the goal is to ruin you. They see you as a personal enemy because you're saying something that disagrees with their mental paradigm. They're going to attack you, not what you're saying, because they don't believe you. So they don't want other people to listen to you. And if you make sense, especially, there's a guy who makes videos about me all the time. And all he does is attest to how wonderful of a speaker I am and how convincing I am. And he's using these two things, these two attributes to say that I'm manipulating everybody and I'm lying. Like, he's using something that me being able to speak well has nothing to do with the information I'm presenting. But he's saying that you guys only believe me because I'm well spoken, not because of what I'm saying. So. And it's in their mind that they just try to rationalize things in different ways, and it never makes any real sense because they're not using logic, remember? So thank you very much, Brian Caldwell. And I appreciate that, brother. It does. It does. It does very much so. Man, what movie you talking about? Oh, okay. Danny, well, welcome in. Says you knew here. We're talking about Come Sunday, if you saw Come Sunday. Didn't go as deep as I thought, Chelsea said. Okay. If you're awoke, you're around people that are woke. They just sit there like, I didn't get that. The word, there in the word, I didn't get the last part. I'm sorry. Just like they did in the movie. Absolutely. Just like they did in the movie. Why do black people wake up much easier than Hispanic and whites? I'd honestly have to say that it's probably because the information that wakes a lot of people that classify themselves as black up it seems to be black related. Thank you very much, Star Child, for the donation. If you talk to a person who is Hispanic and you're showing them Egypt, so to speak, and you're showing them that these people who did this stuff were potentially black, they're not going to resonate with that. So a lot of black people or people who classify themselves as black or believe that they are black would actually have a connection with someone who's black and created something. So when you're dealing with that, you're talking about people who can really connect with something. So not necessarily if Hispanic, that's my answer. I would think that if you're gonna say why do black people wake up faster than white and Hispanic people, it's not that we have a more capable brain in our skull. It has to be because we're resonating with the information that's being presented. I mean, if white people built the pyramids, you probably have more white people talking about it, so to speak. You see what I'm saying? If Hispanic built the pyramids, you probably see them walking around saying, "Hey, we built the pyramids," and be ready to research it. You have a culture of people who has not had any information about themselves. So hearing about Egypt and these things like that and how they were presented personally with the Bible through slavery, that's going to help them wake up a lot quicker because they relate to that. They remember slavery in terms of being associated with who they are personally. So Hispanic people, although they know that their race was also enslaved and came through slavery, they don't look at slavery the same way we do. Like they don't feel such a connection to it as we do. So let's see here. Chelsea said, I thought it was funny I think his name was gosh, what was his name? Oral Roberts would let him explain himself, and put it on his. Actually, you're right. I mean, they wouldn't let, and that's how it is though, because a lot of them know the truth. You have to think a lot of these people, they have understood different theologies and they lean more to a theology that they prefer, not because it's truth. So you will have people who, when I used to preach, if I went to a church that believed that women had to wear pants, I would tell people that if they come, make sure they wear pants. Women to make sure they wear pants, because you don't want to disturb the other people who really believe that crap. So we want to have a good service. We want people to hear the information, be able to receive it without saying why is she wearing pants. You know what I mean? So I would tell people at my church, if they were going to come to see me speak, hey, listen, this is a church that believes that women should not wear pants. So make sure if you come to dress in an attire that won't upset the church, or don't wear open-toed shoes, because this specific church believes that. So you're going to try to not ruffle any feathers as much as you can. And it's honestly, it's biblically taught to become whatever you need to become to compel one to listen to your information. So if you need, imagine you fishing. If you're going fishing, if you're trying to catch a trout, you're going to put bait on it that would trick a trout into biting that bait. If you're trying to catch a bass, you would put different bait on it because their diets are different. Like different things attract them. So when Paul was talking to, the Romans or Galatia or whatever, he's telling them, be whatever you can be to compel a person to want to know, like be the bait that makes them bite, so to speak. So even in church, this term is used, or this phrase is used, or this thought is used in order to say, let's look like they want us to look so they'll hear what we need them to hear, so to speak. So it's like you're going in disguise, so to speak. So, and I was all for that. I felt like why walk in, like the Bible says, if a person does not feel like you should drink, don't drink around them, because then you may be a stumbling block. So it's kind of like if a person in their mind thinks that it's a sin to drink, then don't drink in front of them, because if you do, they're not going to hear anything that you say later, because people can be judgmental. So it is wise, so to speak. So said Tina Mary said, I almost watched Come Sunday last night. Sounds like it's good. Gonna have to catch it tonight. Cool. So before we get into it, guys, let me ask you guys a question. Did you think it was a good movie? Outside of the information presented, outside of the narrative, was it a good movie? Was it well written? Was the acting good? Would you say it was a good movie? So just give me it was good. Just give me a yes or no if it was good or not. So I'm gonna see what you guys think of the overall movie first. What did you think of the movie? Good or bad? Okay. Very good. Okay, Courtney says very good. Mario said yes. Glow said it was good to me. Okay. Chelsea said it was good. Yes. Okay. No. Machine said no. Stop believing this word. Turned upside down. Now he's thinking about going back to church. See, and that's horrible. And we're gonna talk about that too, Janice. Like, I'm definitely gonna deal with that, because people, when they walk away from religion, they think that God is after them. So every little thing that happens that's bad, they think it's punishment for they leave. And a lot of people do go back to religion because of that. So Emma said yes. Andre said yes. Infinite said yes. Okay, cool. So it looks like a lot of you guys like it. I've only got a few no's. The ending sucked. Okay. How do you explain spiritual experience? I'm from the Caribbean. I saw a lot of evil things that make me believe God is real. I mean, I'd have to know what you're calling evil. What did you see that make you believe that God is real? Love Life says yes. Okay, great movie. Showed the ugly truth. Okay. I think it's the begging to great awakening. I do too. I think that information can cause people to go look it up and say, well, wait a second. Does the Bible really teach that you're going to hell? Man, we got a lot of people who really believes that, that they have a real potential of going to hell, even though they go to church every Sunday and try to live the best life they can. It's very stressful. Stress causes a lot of disease. Actually, it's the major cause of disease. And when you have this many people stressed out about things that are not even real, you got to imagine the health problems that are directly associated with that. So, there's stomach problems that are directly linked to the brain on how you think and the stress that you cause that can cause ulcers and stuff in your stomach. And this is a proven fact. So you got to imagine, man, the stress mentally that's put on a lot of people who trying to believe. They so hard trying to get closer to what they think is God. And when they don't get closer, they feel like they've done something wrong, and they think God is mad at them or expecting them to fix whatever it is that's wrong, but they don't know what it is. I've been there. I know exactly what you mean. So I don't know if you see that, Josh. I don't know what that is. Yeah, so I was Marcia said I was extremely stressed. Like, I was extremely stressed. Like I know I was. I mean, I'm talking about you can live your life. Chelsea said that the ending did suck. I got you. But you can live your life totally feeling like you within the will or within the rules of what God wants for you. And then you can lay your head down at night and still feel like you're so far outside of the will of God. Like you'll feel like, what have I done to you that you have separated yourself so far from me? You see what I'm saying? And you don't even know how to fix it. And this is what people deal with every day, wanting this dude to speak back, and he don't. And then whenever you tell people that this person is no evidence for his existence, they tell you were doing it wrong. It's like, how can you tell me I was doing it wrong? And all knowing, all loving God would not tell me I'm doing it wrong. That's a mother would not tell their child, you want my love, and you ask for my love in the wrong way. Like, that's stupid. You know your child wants your love, so why do you care how they ask for it? If you know what they're saying, like, it's just stupid to, the God would know that you're trying to love him or be closer to him. So why would he say you're doing it wrong? Like, that's stupid, man. And he's stupid if he's gonna act that way. So no, it's just crazy. If you had a parent that left you, or just say you had a parent who is everything straight? Lorenzo in, okay. What's up, bro?
Yes. What's up? How you doing?
What's up, man? I'm actually glad to have you on. Lorenzo is with us, guys. Everybody say hey to Lorenzo. Lorenzo actually has a really wonderful breakdown and review on this, so I'm actually glad he's in. I didn't know if you could make it or not, but I was definitely gonna quote your butt on some of the things that you said. So definitely,
it's all right. I was running a bit behind, but we good. We good.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. So, but yeah, guys, I was saying that if you have a father who doesn't know that you out there, right, and you trying your best to find this man, right, you trying your best to find him. Now, let's just say he knows you there, but he telling you going about it the wrong way. You send him a letter. I don't want letters. You send him a phone. You call him. I don't want phone calls. That's not how you connect with me, dude. You just don't want a relationship with me, right? If you're my father, Lorenzo, if you are my personal father and I write you a letter and you come back and say, well, I don't like letters, dude, it's clear you don't want a relationship with me. You know I'm trying. I call you. I come visit you, and nothing's good enough for me to have a relationship with you. It's not my fault at this point. But we're taught to believe that if you don't feel God, or if God don't want a relationship with you, it's you. It's your problem. But he made you. So as a father, how can you tell me I ain't good enough? Dude, you the one. I come from you. If I ain't good enough, then you ain't.
Exactly. I mean,
right.
I agree with you 100% on that one. I mean, if that's the situation, and you find that throughout the Bible. I mean, the dude in the Bible, it tells you that God repented, that he regretted making man. So basically, you're saying that you regretted making something of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So if a father would do that, then of course that's one reason why that cannot be. That person will cease to be your father. They can't be your father.
Absolutely.
That's something that somebody who doesn't love themselves nor love you would say, right? So I wouldn't even listen to that. I would move away from that so quickly and so easily.
Absolutely. I mean, it's you could put it out there and say, what would you call a person who is directly responsible for your existence and does not care enough to be there to help you once you actually exist? You would call them a deadbeat. Whether you are a woman or a man, if you are directly responsible for another being's existence, you brought a child into this world. If you abandon that child and does not give it what it needs, you would be called a deadbeat. So, but nobody calls God that. You see what I'm saying? Like, he's supposedly directly responsible for your existence. But he doesn't speak. He doesn't come. He doesn't give you what you need. You are on your own. You feel me? He'd have to be a deadbeat. I mean, you see what I'm saying? Like,
and look at what that so-called father says. First, he regretted making you, so he washed you away and flooded you, according to the story.
Mm-hmm.
But then already have said that the next time I come back to destroy you, because I intend on destroying you because you're not good enough.
Mm-hmm.
I've already set you up for failure. I'm going to burn you to death this time. I'm going to burn you to death. And then after I burn you to death, then I'm going to put you in perpetual hell, death, damnation, gnashing of teeth, all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, this is clearly the statements of somebody who doesn't care about you and who already recognize that they are a failure, that their creation that is most like them, that's the creation that is most like you is a failure. But yet you still, and you're ready to punish them out of anger and frustration and wrath and jealousy and all these other things. So, I mean, it's clear that is not an entity that loves you.
Absolutely.
Right.
I mean, you could just imagine it. Just imagine a man look a woman in the face and be like, baby, I love you. You're the most beautiful thing I ever saw in my life. I love you so much. But if you don't love me back and do exactly what I want you to do, I'm going to set you on fire. That would sound evil. That's exactly what this God is. I love you, I gave my only son for you, right? You the apple of my eye. But if you don't live how I think you should live, I'm going to set you on fire forever. That's exactly what he's saying. If you have free will, but if you don't live how I think you should live, you're going to burn. Dude, that's not free will. Come on, man.
Any human, any decent human would call that controlling,
extortion,
and abusive, and would call you a psychopath and warn you to run away from them, to escape from that kind of person. Right? And not if my daughter or my son was with a person like that, then that's exactly what I'm going. You need to escape from that person. You need to run from that person because they don't serve you any purpose. They're not there to build you. They're not there to help you. They can't show love for you. And it's funny because after we do this, I'm recording a video about love, right? And the fact that love is an action. It's complete. It's not a feeling. It's not an emotion. It's not even a state of being. It's the actions that you take. Somebody can say they love you, like the Bible says all day, I love you, I love you, I love you. But how do you treat me? How do you cultivate me? Do you cultivate me through fear? Because if you're cultivating me through fear, then you don't love me. You want to control me. You want me to fit into your little container here. But even in fitting there, you really are doing it because you just want to have something that you can force to be what you want it to be because you're lacking something yourself. You're lacking an inner love for yourself. And that's not love.
Right, absolutely.
And if you don't love yourself, how can you love anything else? So in effect, this God of the Christian Bible and the Quran and the Torah does not love himself, because he's a dude in each one of those, does not love himself. So therefore, how can you ever love anyone else? Is that the statement that his love is everlasting is a lie within itself, because it can't be everlasting if you're willing to take the majority of people and punish them forever. Forever. That's not love everlasting, because that means that hate is everlasting as well.
Absolutely.
That anger, that everlasting. And what kind of being can you say is a good God if they are perpetually in hatred and in wrath towards those who wouldn't conform with no proof, wouldn't conform with not even ever hearing the 15-year-old kid who just died right now in some foreign country who's never heard of this God is, I hate you. I hate you because you never give yourself to me. Come on, man. And they follow that, but people
Absolutely.
can't think. They don't.
It's so crazy, man, because like there was this woman who was saying that God had helped her get good deals, that she prays before she goes grocery shopping, and God tells her where the deals are. Like, so God is couponing now. And what's crazy is because it's like you say this dude is everywhere. So he created, compared to the universe, Earth is small, right? So God is over here in whatever city in this first world country that you live in, helping you coupon and get good deals on food. But he's also directly in these places where people starving to death every day, and he won't even help them get food, period. So he's everywhere. So he's over there too. So he's over there watching these children walk 6 and 7 miles to get dirty water to drink, knowing they're not going to get enough food that day. They're going to die by the age of 4 or 2, be stillborn, due to all the diseases and lack of food in the areas. So God is there just as much as he's in a first world country. And that's what I'm saying. People will say, God is real because I ate. You live in a first world country. And this is what I'm saying, man. Like, I live in a first world country. I told who I thought was God years before I woke up to not do anything else for me. I said, I feel wrong even praying to you and asking you for anything because there are people who don't even have food and they dying every day. I live in a place that based on my skin color, I may not get treated as good as someone else, but at least I can go out and make a living for myself, right? I would rather deal with the threat of being incarcerated or shot than not have any freaking food and be starving. Like, honestly, if you could trade, you would not trade with them. Right? Well, at least I ain't got to worry about police pulling me over and shoot me. You're not about to go over to Africa or wherever they are. Not even Europe, the places where they starve to death in Europe. People always say Africa. White people starve to death too, y'all. Like, for real. Trust me. Look this stuff up. So what I'm telling y'all is you would not trade places with someone like that. So you can't say your God is real because you got food. And then because their God is fake because they ain't got food. Like, your God is also fake because people are starving. So you cannot use these type of arguments. You feel me? So someone had said something earlier and I wanted to speak to, and it freaking slipped my mind. So, but no, man, that's exactly what I mean. Just like what you said, man, you're dealing with somebody who is clearly unfair, and we're trying to make this person fair. Like, what justification could you ever have to punish someone for absolute ever? Like, to set someone on fire forever? What lesson is to be learned from that? So you're dealing with people who, just like my man. Okay, so let's just move into it. My man had been teaching his whole life that you go to hell if you don't accept Jesus Christ, right? If you don't accept Jesus Christ as your savior, you will burn. So he grew up under the belief that even if you're in Africa, right? And I'm only saying Africa because they named Africa. But even if you're in a place where you don't have food, if you die of hunger and you never hear of Jesus, then by what he had his awakening on was that God is not going to put you in hell. But what is taught in church is that God will put you in hell. So please understand, both of these two beliefs are coming from the Bible itself, not a different book. So for anyone out there who's going to say, well, you can't be mad at God now because he don't put people in hell, that is irrelevant. If the Bible didn't even have a hell, if the Bible didn't even have sin, if the Bible didn't have an Adam and Eve who sinned, if it didn't have the world flooding, it's still fake. Please understand that if the Bible had everything in it, and it was accurate. I'm talking about if everything seemed to line up and there was no contradictions. The sheer fact that there is no evidence to prove it outside of it is what makes it false. We're not saying that the Bible is not right because it's evil. We're saying the Bible has no evidence and we don't know why you can't see it because it's clearly evil. Like, that's what we're saying. Like, we're not saying that because God does evil things in the Bible, that makes him not exist. Like, we're not mad because God is evil. We know that this God doesn't exist, but we think it's crazy because he's clearly evil and y'all don't recognize it. So please understand, Spider-Man is not evil. We don't have a lot of literature that suggests Spider-Man is being evil, but we all stand in agreement that Spider-Man don't exist, right? So we're not saying that Jesus or God is fake because they're evil. Like, so a lot of people think that, Lorenzo. They say you just don't understand some things in the Bible, so you mad at God. I'm not mad at God, right? Yeah, it's totally different, right? It's almost like if I read a issue of Spider-Man or any comic book that I don't like, someone would say, well, you're mad at Batman or Spider. It'd be impossible. I'd have to be mad at the writers who did the movie. That's like you being mad at T'Challa, literally, for stopping Killmonger. Like, if you met the actor that played T'Challa, you walk up to him and jack him up and be like, man, you wasn't going to give us that vibranium? You a-hole. Just imagine that. Like, nobody's mad at a fictional character, man. Come on.
And you know what? Let me throw this in there, because that was one aspect of the movie that that they portrayed, where he started thinking about those types of things, right? Mm-hmm. These children, these people who've never ever heard of their Bible, God, what this and the third, but these people got to go to hell. Mm-hmm. Now let's look at the Bible in itself. I don't know where it is. I'm pretty sure you know exactly where, but I know in Romans it tells you that you are supposed to adhere to the government that you're under, the potentates, presidents, and all those people, because those people were appointed over you by God, right? Mm-hmm. That's what they say. Now, in America, we get into the debate of, okay, that means Trump was appointed by God. So all these Christians, stop going against Trump because you're going against the Bible. That means that Obama, appointed by God. That means all the people who went against Obama need to stop going. They should have stopped going against him because He was appointed by God. We like to think about those things. Let's think about something better. Hitler must have been appointed by God. Hitler claimed Jesus as his Lord and Savior. Hitler believed that burning the Jews was vital because that's how God was going to burn everybody anyway, and that white people, the Aryans, were separated, that they were the chosen people. Now, people run Hebrew Israelite, we the chosen people, Jews, we the chosen people. Everybody says this God is choosing people, choosing one group over the rest of them.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds kind of crazy to me, but Hitler appointed by God. Look at the Soviet Union, USSR, Lenin, Stalin, all these people appointed by God. Now, to the point that he was saying, under the USSR, you weren't allowed religion. You weren't allowed Christianity. The Bible wasn't allowed. In China during the same time frame, you weren't allowed the Bible. It was illegal for you to have it. But yet, those leaders who decided those things were appointed by God to disallow you from having the book, so you never heard from it, so you got to go to hell. But yet, God's chosen leaders appointed over you said you couldn't ever hear about it or have it, so you went to hell.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of God is that? See, when you think worldwide, larger, what kind of God says that, yes, I'm going to put this person over you, but I'm going to make sure they'll kill you before you have a chance to hear anything about me or my son or Abraham or any of that kind of thing. And then I'm going to burn your ass in hell when you don't conform to me. That's not even giving them a chance.
Right.
That's not. And I mean, that's like a parent not allowing the child ever go to school. Like, you can never go to school, but then you expect the child to know how to read and write. And you never taught them. They never went to school, but they don't know how to read and write. They don't know how to do anything.
Right.
They don't graduate. You mad because they didn't graduate high school. When it was time to graduate high school, and they didn't walk. Why you didn't walk? Well, because you didn't walk, you got to get out of my house and go live out in the street. But dude, you never let me go to school. You never
how can I graduate if I don't even walk? You realize they wouldn't even let me on stage, right? I don't even have my name ain't even enrolled. Like, what's wrong with you, Mom? Are you tripping? Right. Like, you crazy. Yeah. Like, you're right. Like, how can you disqualify me for something I was never even in? Like, I didn't even know your literature, so how can you judge me for not obeying it? Like, it's so stupid.
And not only that I didn't know it, but you put the leaders in charge of me who wouldn't let me know it.
Yeah.
According to your book.
Absolute facts. Absolute facts. Now watch this right here. So the scripture that Lorenzo named, he said it was in Romans. He was absolutely right. It is Romans 13. It says all of you. All means all, and that's all will ever mean. So that means not a single person can go against a leader. So don't say, well, America, they can go against Hitler because they were leaders too. No, it says all of you must obey the government rulers. Everyone who rules. Everyone. What does everyone mean? Everyone. Self-explanatory. Everyone who rules was given the power to rule by God. That's what it says. Like, that's what it says, y'all. Like, come on, man. Every person who was given the power to rule was given the power from God.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's a court. And then look at the rulers. Go search history and look at those rulers.
Absolutely.
And then we have an understanding. Okay, these rulers who wouldn't allow you or force their own religion. You was in Japan, the emperor, you was Shinto. The emperor wasn't having it. Then, I mean, it was later that they let Buddhism in, but first it was Shinto. That's it. Try something else. See what happens. Someone saw it through the gut.
Mm-hmm. Someone says, yes, but God's law is over every law. Well, you mean the same law that put rulers in charge and said that he appointed them, that law? Like, you can't say that, but God's law is above their law. God's law is what gave these people the right to rule. So you can't say, but God's laws, because that's what gave them the right. You understand? Like, you can't say that. Like, that's just crazy.
But they're missing the idea. If God's law is above every other law, but these people had laws that disallowed you from ever even knowing anything about the Bible or about Christianity,
then that God's law trumps that. Yeah.
Defeated God's law.
Absolutely.
Because you never heard God's law.
Mm-hmm.
You never heard it. It
Absolutely.
Never got to you. You lived and died and never heard it. You was in the Soviet Union, living in Siberia, lived and died, never heard of it. You starving, eating potatoes out there in the woods. You never heard of it. You lived and died because the law of the Soviet Union was greater than the law of the Bible and God. Bible, God appointed that person.
Right. It's the equivalent to this. You have two products, right? Both of them have the same name, Cheerios. One of them has totally different ingredients. than the other one. One of them has real wheat, real grain, whatever Oreos are made of. The other one is a fake, right? It's made with plastic, all different kind of stuff. Basically, you're giving someone Oreos. When they look at the ingredients, they're reading false ingredients. They don't even know what they're eating, and then God will judge them for not knowing what they're eating. You see what I'm saying? So they give you a false God, right? So these other rulers, based on a Christian's perspective, are giving and teaching false information, false doctrine, and the people can't counter that because they're reading the false doctrine. So how can you disprove it? So if you're taught to read the Bible and you're taught that the Bible's God is a true God and all you have is a Bible, man, what you going to argue with? You can't. You don't have any ground to argue, right? So that's the same as Allah putting y'all in hell, putting Christians in hell, and you never read the Quran. That's the same way as Vishnu putting your butt in hell because you never read the Bhagavad Gita. And you got to really think about that. Just imagine you die and you go to heaven and you see Krishna instead of Jesus. And this dude is saying, go to hell. Just think about this. Exactly. This man is going to send you to hell, and you've been trying your best to worship Jesus and do right. But this man going to send you to hell with no care in the world. The fact that you actually tried to serve the only God you knew of, your best. You tried your best, and you're still going to burn forever in Krishna's hell. Like, think about that, man.
You'll be sitting up there saying, but where's Jesus?
Right.
I was praying to Jesus.
Mm-hmm. We lost Lorenzo for a second, but like he's saying, we was praying to Jesus. I thought I would see Jesus. My plan was to throw my crown back at Jesus' feet and thank Jesus for being there for me. Like I thought, me personally, I used to say when I get to heaven and I look Jesus in the face, the person who gave his life for me, whenever he give me my crown, I'm going to give it right back to him and say, no, you deserve it. This is what I was going to say. Now imagine me standing up there waiting to see my sweet Jesus. I see somebody blue in the distance. Who blue? All of a sudden you get close to you. He Krishna. He 10 feet tall. You're like, who the heck are you? It don't matter. You going to hell. Like, wait a second. Where's Jesus? Where's the Lamb's Book of Life? Like, come on, man. Like,
I know. You're going to be standing in the line looking around the corner like, wait a minute now. That dude got 6'8" arms up there.
Absolutely. The real question is, what would you think of Krishna if that man sent you to hell and didn't care that you tried? You would think this dude is evil, narcissistic, selfish. All he cared about is being right? So this is the same thing that other people who believe in other gods is going to think about your personal God if he were to be existing after they died. You see what I'm saying? And it's the whole protocol behind it. You're going to get to heaven. You have to make sure your name is written down. Like, what they writing with up there? Like, come on, you mean to tell me that there's angels writing and erasing? Like, come on, man. Think about it, guys. Your name has to be written in a book to be accepted. These angels don't even know by looking at you if you accept it. They got to look in a book. You have a name in heaven. So my name in heaven is Kevin. So the name my mama gave me, like, what if you change your name throughout the years? Like, what's going to be written in the Lamb's Book of Life? Like, what if you stillborn? What if you don't know your name? What if you never had a name?
I mean, the fact that you got to be written in the book, isn't this guy supposed to be omniscient?
Right.
He's supposed to know everything.
He's supposed to know everything, but he got books. Keeping documents.
So it shouldn't even be a line. What's the line for?
It's crazy.
There's no reason to come up for a judgment. There's no reason to come up to look in a book to see if you can go through the gate. It should just be automatic. Because why do you need why your name got to be in the book? That's ridiculous.
It's absolutely.
You know what that made me? That made me think, because I saw the movie and everything, right? And then the other pastor, Ellis, I believe is his name, who when they had their little Sanhedrin going on, he had a rebuttal video that I saw a couple of days ago, right? Now they having a little beef about who called who and all that kind of stuff. I can care less about that part. That means nothing. But there was a statement that he said that's kind of coincide with what you were just saying. And he said that according to the Bible, that even if angels come down and speak anything different than what's in that book, then you ought to curse that angel. Right? Now, that threw me for a second. At first, it threw me for a second. Then I realized that's the best swerve right there. That thing. I don't know if that's actually in the Bible, but that's such a good swerve. Because if you think about this logically. If Gabriel, let's say Gabriel existed. Gabriel comes down and he said, hey, look, okay, y'all been teaching this about Jesus. Y'all been teaching this about sin and everything. You know, King James wrote it wrong. The Catholics, they got a little bit, they twisted it a lot, and I'm here to correct it. God sent me down to correct what y'all not misconstrued, right? According to him, it's no. What these men wrote in this book over the last 2,000 years, that's what's right. Not you heavenly beings that's coming down to speak, to tell us that, hey, you know, he said ye are gods, and he kind of meant that.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of meant that you were. Not that you got to go through anybody, just you directly, straight up, good to go. It's all in your consciousness. That's what he meant. The Gnostics got it right. You know, Gospel Thomas got it right. But this right here, this is wrong. But according to them, you're supposed to curse that angel because Bishop Irenaeus is right. Philo of Alexander is right. Josephus ben Matthias is right. You know, all these Clement is right. All these guys who wrote and rewrote, they're right. Not this being that came down. And when he said that, I just fell out because I was like, I had to rewind it like 50, 11 times. Mm-hmm. I was like, I know that's not what he just said. I know. Now, I don't know if that's in there or not.
I'll tell you what.
You just said that the beings who are in heaven with God, if they came down, then they're evil. And they said something different, they're evil. They're wrong. But weren't they just with the supreme being? Shouldn't they know? Shouldn't they know better than we know?
God would know they was coming to say it anyway, and he still would let them do it just to test you. Like, what if you ain't really up on your Bible like that, and you don't know the word like that? So an angel telling you something, you're gonna look at this big old angel with these wings, or however it looks. I imagine it's supposed to look beautiful, right? You're looking at this big old angel or whatever. You're gonna believe what it says, right? It's telling you what's coming from God. You're looking at a being you never saw in your life, and you know, and it's crazy because, like, again, if you are tricked, and that's the funny thing about it is, again, we talk about the word deception, is that if you are deceived, you're even burned. Like if you tricked, if you believe that what this angel or any man tells you, because you're tricked into believing it, he would still burn you for being deceived. Like you didn't literally just say, I'm gonna walk away from you, but you got deceived. These are two totally different things. If my son got tricked into buying some fake shoes or a fake watch or something like that, I would not like beat this dude up or whoop him or something like that. The lesson is learned. Like, you see what I'm saying? You have to understand how to not be deceived. Like, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't punish the dude on top of that. Like, you see what, like, in terms of putting him in a hell or something like that. And that's what I mean. That's what I was going to say. Free will. So like free will means that you can do something without punishment, without reward. That's what free will is. If I put two pieces of candy, one is red, one is blue in front of my son, and I say, son, pick a piece of candy, and he picks the red one, and I smack him, that is not free will. If he picks the blue one and I give him two blue ones, that is not free will. I'm essentially rewarding him for choosing a piece of candy. Now, if I put those two out in front of him again, which one do you think he's going to choose? The one that got him a reward last time. That is not free will. So your God says he puts in front of you blessings and curses. This proves that your Yohanan don't have free will. Choose which one. You have to choose. Like, you don't even have a choice. What if you say neither? I don't want to be blessed or cursed. Leave me alone. Just let me get it on my own. I don't want to be waiting on your blessing, because we know how you do. We know that you can do everything right and you still going to withhold back. You did the same thing to Paul. Paul prayed and prayed and prayed for God to heal him, and God wouldn't even do it. This dude literally is pitching tents, building tents, teaching the gospel, all these places. And Paul's only excuse for it was, God put a thorn in my flesh, and he said through my weakness, he going to be made great. So that's why I'm sick, because if I wasn't sick, God wouldn't be made great. Like, are you serious? God needs you to be sick so he can appear great? Like, to think that a being would even need to do that is stupid.
And you know what's dumb about that? What if the thorn in his side was pedophilia?
Right.
How is God made great through you? Because he wouldn't take it away, you're continuing to pedophile.
Mm-hmm.
If you were an abuser of women, you continue to abuse women. That's the thorn in your side, and you keep doing it. But you're saying that through his grace. Now, of course, they're going to teach that, no, well, you know, through his grace, he was probably strong enough to not do it anymore. That ain't what it says. It doesn't say that. It doesn't say that. It just says that through your grace, you know, God will glorify. And I'm just trying to understand, how is it that through an issue that you keep suffering with, he's going to be glorified if you keep suffering? You see, to me, that's why it's all about keeping people in a state of fear and suffering. Because if you're always in a state of fear and suffering, then you're always going to want this heaven that's for later on. So those who maim you and burn you and torture you and all that kind of stuff, you're willing to accept it because you're waiting for something later. You're waiting for heaven later on, which is bull. And like I did a podcast about the tree of life a few days ago, and then I'm gonna do the tree of knowledge next. But the thing about that, the reason why I bring that up is because the tree of knowledge it's about choices. It's the only tree that says you have the choice of good and evil. When you eat this, you're gonna know good and evil. You're gonna know good. You're gonna have two options.
Right
Here, you're gonna have a red pill and a blue pill. Tree of life, just hey, I learn whatever the tree of life, and I'm just living forever.
Absolutely.
And whatever trees, but this one is the blue pill and the red pill. And so once you know that one, you're gonna understand consequences. Not so much you understand good and evil. It's just consequences. Because Hitler thought he was good. You ask people today, depending upon who you're asking, Trump is good. You ask another person, Trump is bad. Obama was good. Obama was bad. So which is he? It's all choice. It's all about choice, but they can't see that. And they want to take that choice. They want to take any kind of choice away from you. The choice to recognize your own true divinity. They want to take that choice away from you and say that you're a filthy rag, you're worthless, you have no value. So they can keep you in fear and keep punishing you and taking from you. And then turn on that music so they can get that tithe. So it's all a whole thing just keeping you in fear. And that's what they were preaching. And that's how they are. I dated somebody who came out of the Pentecostal out there where out there and they had been, their minister was very close to Carson. I keep on calling him Carson.
Yeah,
Carson Pearson.
And
and they would tell me how everything was you going to hell, you going to hell, you going to hell. If you wear clothes, if you wear pants, you're going to hell. You wear makeup, you're going to hell. If your colors are too bright, you're going to hell. You do your hair up too well, you're going to hell. Basically, if you do anything that makes you happy on earth, you're going to hell. Anything that gives you joy, you're going to hell. So it's like, I'm taking away all your choices. You have no free will. The only thing you can do is bow down. That's it. Bow down. And of course, that person left because then they had a big sex scandal at the church, so they left.
Oh, there you have it. Hey, I wanted to say this really quick because I know we talked about it last week, guys. We gave away a shirt to, we drew a name out of a hat and picked a donator and gave a shirt. And the person who gets that shirt, his name is Earl Wheeler. Earl, if you on, give me a 1. Let me know you're there. If you're not on, I don't hear anything from you this show, I will try my best to get in touch with you. So I'll look you up, see if I can't find you. Also, LeSean, if you don't mind, type in the name of that book that's also going to be given away if you want, brother. So listen, guys. All right, what's up, brother?
Wait a minute.
Oh,
somebody said something. Somebody just said something that I wanted to hit real quick. And it alludes to what, because I was listening to you when I was getting ready, right? And, they said that we got to give it to Carson Pearson. This is what David Overton said. We got to give it to Carson Pearson. Everything these big name preachers are doing, he already did, right? And he did already do those things. And the fact that just like Kevin, sorry, somebody distracted me telling me I need to give away some gourmet popcorn. I will. On my podcast, not Kevin. How about that, Reg? How about that? But anyway,
you can give my people some popcorn. I don't care what you say right now. Like, you can't do that. Just playing with you, Lorenzo.
Still working. I had to pre-talk to Kevin before we do that.
Yeah, cool.
But okay, so you was talking about how we got to make sure that you succeed, right? And in the same way with Carlton switching, becoming more aware, becoming more conscious, we got to make sure he succeeds as well. Because the fact of the matter is, like you were saying earlier, that if you suffer, then other people will say, see, that's why you can't. If you run to that consciousness, you're going to suffer. If you run to that false doctrine, you're going to suffer. If Carlton suffers, then it's going to be, see, if you go away, if you join that great falling away, you're going to fall into poverty, even though so many black people in Christianity dead broke, living in poverty, bad credit scores, the whole deal, can't buy a house, can't get their kids in school, none of those kinds of things. So many are, and they're in it, deep in it. But it's vital at this stage that people like Kevin and Carlton succeed, because at every level, it's going to for these two guys to succeed. At every level, other ministers who are sitting in the cut right now, knowing that what they're teaching is wrong, knowing that they want to come out, but they're afraid of losing their house, losing their money, losing their cars. They're afraid of the loss. They won't ever say anything. But if they see that it's safe, because I'm telling y'all right now, I'm gonna make sure that Kevin succeeds. But they see that it's safe when they say, "Oh, okay, he went away to consciousness and he's succeeding." Oh, he went away to consciousness and he's succeeding. You know, they got back everything that they may have lost. They even got more. They got the Job story going on over there. Like Kevin lost this, but now look at it. He got like 2-3 times as much.
Mm-hmm.
Carlton lost this, now he got 2-3 times as much. Because I noticed that's one of the things that the Ellis had said. Now, oh, look at Carlton. He can't even keep a church now. You know, they want to throw that on you. So we have got to make sure that people like this succeed. The ones who are up front, you know, succeed, because if they don't, then it hurts the consciousness. It hurts the awakening, because that 3% of the people who step out first, they got to succeed. They have to.
And just like the word you was about to use sound like you was going to say movement. And that's absolutely what it does. It does hurt the movement. You got so many people who will turn other people away because they feel like God is really cursing that person. When I tell you, man, the dude who said that on my video, he looks like he's having a good life. He seems to be driving a nice car. Check him out in a year. When I tell you, this dude got thousands of likes on his comment, thousands. Now this is a 8 or 9 million viewed video, but you're talking about that's one of the most hits on the comments is that one. Let's check him out. Nothing to do with is Jesus real or not. Let's just check him out in a year, and that's going to be our proof on whether the Bible, like, that's just crazy. If I do fail, it doesn't prove a thing, man. Like, it's so crazy, you know. But
you know, a few years ago, when I first really stepped away, and this is before I met you. This is when my subscribership was like 20 people, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I had walked away from this. This is back in 2014. I was like, that's when I was completely. I've been done, but that's when I was openly YouTube done and that sort of thing. And I had people who I have known for a long time come to me and say, because of that, your business is going to fail. You're going to fail. Your business. Now, here's what's funny, though. I ran into some of these people over the last 2 months. Right? And now they're saying, I'm so glad your business is doing well. I'm so glad. They switching to them because what they perceived to be reality was not. What they perceived was like, God's gonna get you because you're an enemy of God now.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, no. Now, has everything been smooth sailing? No, they haven't been. But some of those things is not because of God. It's because I made some dumb decisions here and there. You know, you pick a bad location, you just pick a bad location, plain and simple. You know, and
that's going to be growing. That's going to be growing pains, period, in any business like that. Especially when you're going in it all alone, like yourself. You know what I mean? It's not like you got a team of people and investors and people who know the business, all this stuff, all on your back. You know what I mean? We trying this stuff and we try to make it work the best we can. And the crazy thing about it, like I say, people think that that's a direct indication or that's an evidence to the fact that their God is real, but they don't understand. It's like we live in a world that's 97% Christian. If you do not cater to that 97%, your business will not do well. And this is why a lot of companies cater to Christians. They don't say that they're atheist companies or nothing, like, because they know if they come out and say, we don't believe in your God, their business will not do as well. You see what I'm saying? Like, you got companies who say Merry Christmas because they already know how you're going to feel if they don't say it. Like Christians, they ain't even in the Bible. And Christians will make you say Merry Christmas. You see what I'm saying? They taking Christ from Christmas. Well, he never was in it, to be honest with you. It wasn't even about this dude. Like, so, I mean, it's a whole song called They Taking Christ from Christmas. It's like a hit. And let me say this real quick. Let me say this real quick, Lorenzo, my bad. The book that's going to be given away with that shirt is going to be Out of the Dark by our very own Sherry Gilliam. So I want everybody to thank Sherry Gilliam for her donation of her book. And for any of you guys that is interested in going and getting that book, please check that out. And let me know what you think of it as well. I'm actually going to get that book from you too myself. Sherry. I want to see what it's like. So Out of the Dark, that actually sounds really like a really good book. So I like the title already. Um, so congratulations, man. Absolute congratulations to the winner. His name was Charles. I'm sorry, not Charles. What am I talking about? Earl. Earl Willer. Congratulations, man. So we're definitely going to get with you and get you your products to you as soon as possible. So just again, congratulations and thank you for your donations last week. And again, thank you guys for donating this week, and anybody who's going to donate here soon. Thank you in advance. My bad, Lorenzo. You good? What were you saying, brother?
Nah, I was just messing with you. But what's funny about that is, again, in another video I posted last week, I talked about the fact that there's like a gas station up the street from me, right? These guys are Hindu. Just because I know what to look for, when I look behind the counter, I know they're Hindu. Mm-hmm. But when you walk in, man, they playing gospel music left and right because they're in a predominantly black area. And they just playing that gospel music, and folks walking down, they just giving them their money. And I'm just looking at them like, man, y'all putting a good swerve on these people. And then there's a hair care supply place over in another side of town that I used to be near, and there's little Asian people. And they playing that gospel music left and right. You walk in, you hit gospel. Woo! If you look up into the top left corner, you'll see a jade dragon. You look over in that corner over there, you see a jade Buddha. So I was like, yeah, y'all getting swerved again. These people don't believe what you believe, but they know how to play you. They know how to play because this country is filled with mostly Christian, even though they're losing ground. They're losing ground because according to the census, by 2050, this country and most of the world will be mostly Muslim, absolutely. You know, so, but they fall for that swerve though. They know how to present it. You know. Now,
thank you very much, Jay, for the donation. Just real quick, Lorenzo, I said 97%. When I say we live in a world, I mean America, the world, the dimension we live in. But even that would be incorrect information. That is 75% Christian, and that's Christian. So you're still going to have people who subscribe to being Jehovah's Witnesses. You're still going to have people who subscribe to being different religions that fall under the Bible. So understand that as far as theists, in America, you're probably dealing with around 90% if you really was to look at who all reads the Bible. So I just wanted to correct that. That's 75% because someone said, you said 97% of the world. What are you smoking? I wasn't saying the world. Believe me, there are countries that don't even know who your God is. And I'm the first to tell you that because I want you to know that. If your God was real, everybody would know him. So matter of fact,
I've been to countries where they had no idea who a Jesus is and anything like that. They don't know Jesus. They don't know the Bible. They've never heard of him. And there's no missionaries. And I've been to some of them where missionaries try to come in and they run them right on out because they're like, hey, we Tibetan Buddhists up here. Don't run in here with some Jesus talk. You know, you don't come to our area with that trying to change what we do.
Absolutely.
You know, but that's why they'll go to some of these countries where they know they can trick you. Mm-hmm. They can say that, well, unless you convert over to us, we're not going to feed you. We're not going to give you education. We're not going to give you medicine. And these people have been starving. So, of course, they're going to come over then. But they're not coming over because you brought some revelation. They came over because you had food. That was your revelation. Food. Like that. And if you've been starving, if I've been watching my child starve, I might go ahead and say, yes, I believe what you're saying because I need my child to eat.
Absolutely.
I need my child to eat. Which, again, goes to, in those countries, most of the time they're starving because the leadership is doing something to create the starvation. And that's the leadership that was appointed by God.
Absolutely. That's what's crazy right there. And then you think about money's printed and you still believe in the Great Depression. Money is printed and you still believe in the Great Depression when there was no money. You really believe the money's printed, guys. The Great Depression was created. Please understand this. Thank you very much, Troy, for the donation. It was something else I was going to get into, but I'll tell you what, Lorenzo, let's dig into that movie a little bit. I'll let you talk about some of the beginning and we'll go through it. So what you're dealing with in this movie, guys, if you haven't saw it, come Sunday, it's Carlton Pearson's and basically pretty much the beginning of his journey. So it's not going to go all the way through to where this man is now. And that's one of the things that Lorenzo so eloquently put in this video, that this man's journey is not completed in this particular movie. So you can't, judge the movie based on where it ends because it's not where he is now. But we're going to talk about what it's like for a person who has been indoctrinated or believing or really teaching information their whole life and what it takes for that person to turn around what they're teaching and literally tell people that I was wrong. Like, that's a big deal. And then what happens when he confesses this information? One of the things that stood out to me, Lorenzo, before you get started, this will be a good way to start it off, is once Carlton Pearson told the truth, or not told the truth, but told what he had learned, right? His new vision, his new perspective. Someone said to him, it was like a radio broadcast, you could hear it or whatever. It says, if this man is changing his mind on what he's been teaching, and he is now saying that what he was teaching was fallacies, then he owes every person he's ever taught their money back. That's what they said. And what throws me off about that is you're telling a person who was willing to admit to you he was wrong, not that he was manipulating people, but was willing to admit to people who give their tithe, thinking they're giving their tithe to God, that he's going to refund them because he was mistaken on the information he was presenting. And it wasn't via tithe. He wasn't saying I was wrong about tithe. I was wrong about you guys are going to hell. So therefore, Carlton Pearson himself must refund everybody, not the money because the money don't all go to the preacher. It pays church bills as well. You feel me? But to suggest that this man should now refund all the money that he's collected, but the people who still teaching this crap are free and clear from even explanation, blows my mind. And that's what people say to me. When you going to pay back the tithe you took? Well, I never took a tithe. And then they're mad. Right? How you mad because I never took a tithe? You just wanted to accuse me of never giving people their money back. But you don't have that now. You see? Thank you very much, LeSean. You know you're the man. Thank you very much, Janice. And so, man, without further ado, Lorenzo, what you think of the movie? What's some parts that stood out to you, brother?
I mean, okay, so the movie, I liked the movie. Mm-hmm. It did throw me off because I was thinking I didn't realize from the beginning that the movie was really just going to show you what he went through. I thought it was going to go more into where he is today, but it was mainly geared towards showing you what he went through and how he lost his, family members, friends, how his church family it's one thing to disagree, but it's another thing to shun someone in the way that they did. But it's Pentecostal, and that's how they do it, though, in the Pentecostal. But to even his mother, in the movie, that's one of the things that caught me big, was his mother saying that even through all of that, you just need to go back and repent. You just need to go repent. That his mother didn't show him motherly love. That was one thing that stuck out.
That was cold. But that was super cold.
That was very cold.
Mm-hmm.
And when they did say, when they were telling him he needed to pay back the people for that, well, you're suggesting that now the people are going, that they got that what he taught them was false. You're agreeing to that what he taught was false if he got to pay it back. Because if I go buy something and I bring it home and then it doesn't work, then I go and I get a refund. So basically you're saying that the people need a refund because it doesn't work. And you're validating it instead of just saying that, okay, you scammed the people. They would have been better off saying you scammed the people out of their money. That you were just here and you never really believed and you were just scamming people, which is a lot of things that people like us get, that we just never really believe. And that's why we don't come into the same understanding that they're under.
Mm-hmm.
But the other thing that really stuck out is that those in leadership never even actually gave him an opportunity to consider what he was saying. That they already had a made up mind from the moment they heard anything. And I'm not, now the ones who were with him at his church, they sort of gave him an opportunity. But I'm talking about the cardinal bishops, Oral Roberts, those people never gave him a chance, ever. Oral Roberts didn't really give him a chance, try to put his son up there, but then his son goes to jail, right? So it's like, all right, this man hasn't broken any laws, hasn't done anything. He's not even taking away the fact that y'all believe in a God. He's just saying that God is so loving that God is not going to send anybody.
They can't even hear that. Them jokers want to have a threat of hell on them. And that's what's crazy. It's like this man telling you that would make Jesus truly a God. Okay. He died once. Yeah. Now everybody goes to heaven. That would make more sense if that's the case. Like people even ask the question now, if Jesus died for your sins, why you still got to repent? Why you still born in sin, right? It doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? Right. Absolutely.
And it wasn't like he was saying you can go and just do whatever the heck you want to do now. You can rape and murder and maim and you still good to go. He wasn't saying that.
Right.
He was just saying that when Jesus died, which I still didn't agree with this doctrine.
Right.
When Jesus died for all the sins for everybody, and I guess the Bible says he died for all the sins of those who know him and don't know him. And of course, they probably those who get preached the word to later. But he's saying that his sin was it. It was finished. That's it. And the blood covered the world, everybody, completely. Which in their minds, it should have said, well, if it covered the world completely, everybody, then we don't have to. Then maybe that's why the Hindus or people who died and never heard of Jesus, they're still covered. And that's all he was saying. But it still came down to he didn't take away that there's a judgment in heaven. There's a judgment in heaven about your works. What did you do while you were here? He didn't take that away. He didn't say that doesn't exist anymore.
Absolutely.
He's just saying that hell doesn't exist. And if you do listen to what he's saying now, he's also telling you that, okay, if you was raping and maiming and murdering while you were here, stealing and cheating, you probably got to come back and do this again.
Facts.
You get into your divinity. Because when you get into your divinity, you don't do that. You recognize that I can't be good if I subject if what I want that makes me happy causes other people to suffer, then what I'm doing is not good. It's not a good thing.
I'm gonna say this real quick. Hey, let me say this. My bad, Lorenzo. I don't mean to cut you off, but I wanted to say this before I leave. LaTruth, my brother's on, everybody. I think this might be the first actual live broadcast he's actually caught, which is very cool. Welcome in, bro. He said, I respect Kevin Wesley for what he's doing. Keep waking people up, bro. Correct. Let me see. I lost you a little bit. Hang on, I'm gonna find you again, brother. I gotta read this.
Oh, you're going too far.
Oh, did I? Okay, here we go. I've been woke for a long time, and you are inspirational to many people, young brother. I appreciate that, man. And I see people speaking to you, too. That's what's up. I appreciate that, brother. Look at that donation. Thank you, bro. Thank you. It means a lot, man. You know that.
Brotherly love.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah,
I really appreciate that. That's powerful. That's powerful. Now, watch this, though. Remember the scene where he goes to the prison to talk to his uncle, and his uncle wants to be saved. And his uncle saying, man, I want you to get me saved. Literally depending on him to get him saved. Like, this man don't know he can just say a prayer to the sky. Like, that's the literature, right? But he's telling Carlton to get him saved. And Carlton's like, you're not ready yet. And the man was like, forget it. I'll just kill myself then. Like, literally, when he looked at him, you could see it in his eyes. Don't forget who you get your charm from. That was his last word. Like, bruh, I'm not going to be mad at you. I already know there's nothing more I can say to you. It's over for me. I'm not staying in prison anymore. You could have got me out of this place. But instead, you're going to keep me here and say that I need to stay in here. For what reason? You see what I'm saying? I said I want to get saved. Well, I don't think you're sincere, so I'm not about to get you saved. So what? I can't be saved because you don't think I should be? Like, that's crazy to me. You feel me? Because I thought God knew the heart. If God know my heart, you know how many people who was worse than this dude who God saved? I mean, you know what I mean? Think about the people who God chose, supposedly in the Bible chose, and were freaking murderers. He chose them to kill. Like he chose Saul and said, go kill all the Amalekites, kill the children, the infants. Like, that's a man of God. He wouldn't kill all the Amalekites, the children, and all the stuff like he said. He told David to do the same thing. You see what I'm saying? And all these men did exactly as they were told and went and slaughtered people. So, but they can be saved and kill people, but this man can't be saved because of what? You see, and this man killed himself due to the stress of saying, I'm already going to hell. Why am I sit in prison any longer? I've been here long enough. And he telling his mama he just needed more time. And she said, dude, he's 70 years old. What you mean more time?
Exactly. But you know what that was? What I thought when I saw that scene? I thought that his uncle, who was 70 years old and in prison, was living in a hell on earth already. And Carlton, representing the God of the Bible, saying that, yeah, I see you living in a hell on earth, and I know that, and I do love you, but I need you to stay punished because I'm not quite sure that you're worthy yet. I'm not quite sure that you got it together. You got that little, you had a little drugs that they found on you. So you still ain't quite right. You you got that temptation and you ain't got over your temptation. So I got to let you stay and suffer in hell. I got to let you burn some more. And I saw that as a metaphor to me of Carlton being God and him being us in hell. You know, somebody in hell, somebody on hell.
Thank you, Anthony, for your donation.
But then once he ignored him, once he said, no, I'm going to let you stay in this hell, then the person says, then what's the point? What's the point? What's the point of all this? If all you're going to do is continue to punish me no matter what happens, no matter what I say to you, you're going to continue to punish me. So what the hell? I might as well just go ahead and kill myself, right? And that to me is like, why do you stay in this religion where no matter what you do, you're never good enough? No matter what you say, it's never believable. No matter how much good you do, the one you mess up one time and you're condemned to hell. So why even stay there? It's like let me keep you in this perpetual hell.
Mm-hmm.
You know, let me break you. And then when you're broken, and all you're gonna do is now just cry over me, is say that you still love me, but I'm broken and I'm in hell now. What's the point of your everlasting love if I'm in hell? You know, so that scene right there, honestly, it made me mad.
Right.
It made me mad.
Because why the semantics? A God who should be completely, like, why does a God even have emotions? Like, this is stupid, man. You see, why would a God cry? Like, dude, you know everything before it happened. You knew I was going to hell when you thought of me. Like, you're stupid if you're crying right now. You knew I was going to. You got eternity to accept the fact that I'm going to die and go to hell and do whatever I'm going to do. But you still get mad when I do it, even though you know I was going to do it. Thank you very much, Pastor to God. And I honestly don't even know what you mean right there. He said, I'm a pastor needing help. 5 to feeding me, please help. I really don't understand that. Okay, you do?
I think, yeah, because earlier I think he said something to the fact of how did a pastor like him come out being conscious, being woke, but yet stay successful?
Oh, wow. Well, I can tell you this right here, man. Last year I did it. This year I'm actually doing it again, where I actually go out to different churches and help pastors to teach them the correct thing, to actually show them the Bible, and then kind of help them with it instead of just blurting it all of a sudden. Ray Hagins was doing it for a place. It's now called African Assembly in Raleigh. So you can look this up. They now have a garden, and they're flourishing. They have people starting to come back to the church. He had a humongous church and literally lost about everybody. Ray Hagins started going out there, and then myself, I guess you could say we were alternating. I was going out there like every 5th Sunday or something like that. Ray Hagins was going like every 2nd Sunday. But what we're doing is we're going out there and assisting that pastor to be able to help teach this to the people, because like you saw in this movie, they only gave this man one chance to speak and half of them was leaving. They'll sit in the church under you while you're saying everything they agree with, but they won't even give you 2 services to hear something they don't agree with. Like he said, Oral Roberts and all these people stood up and walked out on this man, which is going to increase other people walking out. When they look around and they see other leaders who's supposed to know the literature get up and walk away from you as if you're wrong, they're going to automatically suspect that you're wrong, and they're going to walk out too. So this is what you get from the church, and they know that. They know what they're going to do. They know whenever they outcast you, what it's going to do. You see, I have a friend whose sister, who was a Jehovah's Witness, and her sister walked away from religion, and her family disowned her so badly to the point to where she almost lost her mind, like literally from depression, from her family literally cutting her off. And the family is thinking that she is literally in her depression and pain because Jesus punishing her. Or God is punishing her, not because they're shutting her out and won't talk to her and treating her like she got leprosy or something. They think that God punishing her, when really it's my pain is associated with y'all leaving me. Like, y'all my family, and now y'all going to abandon me, and I can't come over. I can't talk to y'all. Y'all won't keep the kids no more. You won't do nothing. And you think that my pain is associated with Jesus being, or God being mad at me. It's clearly what y'all doing to me. You see, and again, that just speaks to, like what Lorenzo said, is having each other's back. So if you are considering telling your congregation the truth, man, reach out to some of us, man. I don't know where you are. If you're in Atlanta, man, holler at Lorenzo. He can definitely show you these allegories in the literature. And then you can show people what the allegories really mean instead of just reading the literature and believing that it's real. I would say that's about the easiest way, is to teach these allegories as allegories and show people the meaning of the allegory, not to offend, but to show them the truth. And, because these are allegories. Someone said, Kevin, do you believe in God? I just want to get this out there. The word God was created, man. So you're asking me, do I believe in what? The word God is a word that's etymologically traces from Gad, from German, a word that was made up by men. My answer is no to you. So I think you also said if Kevin believes in God, he's a hypocrite. So now I'm not a hypocrite. Another brother said that these brothers now this is what he said, Lorenzo. He named Ray Hagins, he named myself, and he named you, specifically us three. He said that us three brothers are so well spoken that we can talk someone out of their Jesus and then insert our own religion ambiguously without people knowing that we really lead them to a different religion. We don't have religions. Anybody on here that can say, I'm leading you to worship African gods or any other god for that matter, please say so now. Because this is something that people say all the time. Kevin believe in African statues as God. He believe worshiping Anubis now. If anybody on here who really listens to me has ever heard me say anything about any God being real, please holler at me and let me know that I said that or didn't say it right now. Like anybody would tell you, I don't be telling nobody that they got to believe in nothing. I simply present evidence or present information and let you guys think about it on your own and come to your own decision. I show you the crap that you've been believing in was false. I question the way you think now. I challenge your paradigm, but never once would I tell you how to think. I would never do that. Never. I would never do that. So, yes, sir.
Didn't you say in your viral video that you still do believe in God?
Yeah, I did say that. And people think that they think if you say something a year ago, right, that you still stand by that. Like people do change. The day I made that video, I still believed in God. I didn't even know what I was saying at that moment. I believe in at that moment. I was to the point to where I knew the Bible was fake. I just had not done the actual. I guess I haven't. Again, I guess you could say I hadn't truly awakened. Maybe I was on my Carlton Pearson, right? I was partially awakening, and whatever. So. And again, guys, keep in mind, if a God show up and speak to me, I'll be here to tell you I was wrong. But I'm telling you, when that happens, you're going to believe me because I ain't going to be lying. Nah, if I tell you God spoke to me and he didn't speak to y'all, I was deceived, okay? Like I'm letting you know, God don't work like that. And if he do, I don't want nothing to do with it. If God going to come and speak to me and put it on me to convince the rest of the world he exists, I'm going to say, God, talk to Lorenzo about that. I don't want to do it. Like I'm not your man for the job. Y'all not gonna be asking me to prove something I can't prove. Nah, bro. I don't like to be on that hot seat. That's y'all hot seat. Y'all believe in it, prove it. Our job is easy.
Now, let me be clear about my stance. Now, I don't believe that any religion has ever conceptualized a God creator, in its completeness. I think now the Hermetics and the Tao pretty much have the best understanding for my thought process. So, I believe in collecting as much scientific data as possible. That's what consciousness is really like with knowledge, with science, is to have facts. And but there does come a point where you just can't prove certain things. Now, I believe based on nature and the universal laws that there is some intelligent design, some intelligence that created everything. How it did it, why it did it, I have no idea. If it's or if it's just an energetic thing, I have no idea. Does it have a heaven and hell? Not in the sense that religion has created it. From what I believe, based on the Hermetics, everything is mental. That means that you create it in your own mind, that you are your own creator and you create your own universe. And then whatever happens after this, if you go to another plane of existence, because your consciousness, I don't believe your consciousness evaporates into nothingness because it's energy and energy can't be destroyed. All it does is change.
Absolutely.
So whatever it changes to, I have no freaking idea. None whatsoever. But when I look at the universe, when I look at universal laws, then for me, there is a creative mind and intelligence. And because I have a creative mind of intelligence, I'm saying that for me, for as I'm concerned, I could be wrong, but as far as I'm concerned, when my consciousness leaves this flesh, then it's going to go into another state of existence, maybe as just complete energy, doing whatever it does, wherever it goes, I don't know. But I believe that wherever it is, there's good there, there's bad there. There's choices to be made no matter what happens in existence. I don't think there's no such thing as death. So I don't know if that helps anybody. Don't know if that's an understanding that people can conceptualize themselves. Really, it doesn't really matter because I can stand on the mountain by myself and be the only one who believe what I believe, and I'm perfectly fine with that, which is a problem for most people because they need other people to join in with them, but I don't because I'm confident in who I am. This I am. But one thing leading into that, what the gentleman was saying about how he can make this work with his church, I've been seeing some of his comments. It's coming from a Kojic church in Jacksonville, Florida. I'm just going to be honest with you, bro. I'm going to treat you like one of my business, like I'm doing a business consult with you. You're going to lose damn near all the people.
You will.
Almost all. They're going to walk away. You will be considered a heretic. You will be pushed aside. So you are going to have to start over, basically. You may have a few that go with you, but you're going to have to start over. Now, that's not a bad thing because you can recover. That's one thing that we forget as humans, as beings. We can recover from anything. I've filed bankruptcy before. I've recovered. I've had bad credit before. I've recovered. I've been homeless a few times. I've recovered. You can recover. I've been divorced. Guess what? I recovered. You can recover. But you have to be willing to do what's necessary. Now, if it's about feeding your family, get a job. Get a job so that you can feed your family because you got talents and skills. Now, other than that, if you want to build an organization, like I'm trying to convince this other guy to build an organization based on what he do. We ain't gonna say his name, Kevin, but what you do is
Gesundheit.
So what you do? All right. So basically, the world is digital now. Put out, get your message, get your understanding, get your knowledge, get all that worked out. And it doesn't have to be perfect because, like Kevin just said, you can. Kevin, Carlton, myself, we all have progressed in our thinking. You will change. Anytime you think that you can't change your mind, then you're stuck. You're going to be stuck. So leave change open, but start making videos every day that you post. Post videos every day. Every day. Even if it's 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, post a video every day. Kevin, post a video. Different subject matter, different aspects, but just keep posting. You will attract, what's the saying? You'll attract your tribe based on your vibe, or your vibe attracts your tribe.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll lose everybody, but then just attract those. You'll attract those who want to be with you. There's a conscious community that could use you in Jacksonville. You can build an organization.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. He could immediately begin to try to reach out. You got Jamar, you got Lorenzo, myself, you got Ray Hager's not too far away, man. You can reach out to some of these guys, bring them into your facility, and have conscious people come and witness them speaking. Honestly, man, you just got to be creative. Church is a big building. Move them seats out and create a gathering where people can come in and talk and get to know each other. Like just be creative, man. Somebody asked me, do I believe in meditating? Yeah. Do I believe, in meditating the way that I guess you would understand it when I say meditating? I believe meditating does help release stress. It does help the cognitive. It does all those things. So absolutely. I meditate myself. It does help me relieve stress. It does help me clear my mind to think. What's up, brother?
I was going to say, meditation is science. It's not a belief.
Right,
like,
absolutely.
You can actually see the results of meditation. Mm-hmm. Like, that's actually like tested on neuroscience.
Absolutely.
So it's not a belief. Just want to throw that out there.
Absolutely. That is
an
absolute fact.
It's not part of any one religion either. I mean, meditation is something that goes across different cultural societies and cultural understanding. So it's not a religion. Like people, I actually had to sit this minister down when I was part of this church, but they knew I didn't believe what they believed, but they wanted me to be their little deacon and everything. So I was their chairman of the deacon board. And this woman gets up there, and this Women's Day, and she started preaching that y'all gonna go to hell because y'all got to stop doing yoga and meditating. And I just stood up and I was like, look, hold on. That is so wrong. Because yoga and meditation has nothing to do with a religion. Mm-hmm. Buddhists meditate, Hindu meditate. Buddhists do yoga, Hindu do yoga. And Shinto, they do the same thing. Confucianism, they do the same thing. It's an Eastern practice that's become more popularized because this was in the late 90s. I was like, it's been more popularized in America, in Western culture, but it's not a religious thing. Ain't nobody going to hell. to sitting down quietly and collecting themselves
Mm-hmm.
and getting their energy, you know, recharging their body. Oh, shut up, you stupid. So just kept it moving, you know. And I'm sorry, I ain't mean to interrupt too much, but yeah, I mean, it's not a religion, and I can't stand when people do that. It's just you're teaching it wrong.
Well, from a religious perspective, everything seems to be a religion. Thank you very much, Jeffrey. And I'll give my example of that again. But someone said that LaShawn said that Stephanie was asking, where is it? Maybe she's asking where this church is in Florida. Now, Pastor, whoever you are, you may not want to give that address yet, as you have not told your people, your congregation, your new views, your new perspective. You may not want to give that yet, Stephanie. If that's what you were asking, if he gives it, I will definitely give that to you. But there may be a possibility that he will not do that just yet because he's still waiting to deliver the information to his people, his congregation. So, but if he does, whenever he's ready, I will be willing to give that information out so you guys will be able to locate him. Now, again, when Lorenzo actually spoke to what he meant about God, I want to speak to what I mean about it as well. Thank you very much, Vic. God, who is God? God has a attribute. He's all-knowing. He thinks. He's nice. He punishes. He watches, right? He pays attention to everything you do. He knows all. This word that was created around, the 1800s, something like that, before the 1800s, this word also have attributes attached to it. So when you say, Kevin, do you believe in God? I say no, because that's who I'm talking about. I don't believe that there is a God, period, who's watching and punishing you. At the end of the day, slavery happened regardless of who you think God is. So any person who came to you and said, God loves you, he has your back, I'm simply going to ask you where he was during slavery. And you ain't going to be able to tell me. If you say the ancestors got my back, I'm going to ask you the same question and you're going to be offended. So when you start talking this way, and you're saying that these energies exist out of you to intervene and help you in your life, I'm going to ask you, why ain't they doing it? So the idea of God is that he's watching you and he intervenes and rescues you and protects you and punishes you when you do bad crap. That dude does not exist. There's nobody out there like that. Look at the world. Nobody's judging. No, it's just not happening. And we'd be crazy to even say, we don't have no evidence to support that. Like, it'd be crazy to say that. So just let it go. Why? I don't understand why it's so hard to let go. I mean, and it's crazy because, like, even with what Lorenzo's saying, he's trying to help you make a connection with how to see this thing. And most people are seeing that as a real reason to continue to believe in your beliefs. That's not a good reason. You're saying that, Kevin, you don't believe in God, and you're making God somebody you learned about from the Bible. We just told you the Bible ain't true. So you can forget everything about this God that you heard in the Bible. All this all-knowing, all-loving stuff come from religious books. Whatever you calling God, whatever I'm gonna call God, if I use that generic word that I don't even like, thank you very much, Jerry Mosley, for your donations. Good to see you in. But if I was to use that generic word, I would say God is whatever hold all this crap together. Like, goodness gracious, like, if you expect gravity to show up and save your life, you a crazy person, right? Gravity don't work like that. The wind don't work like that. Like, it just does not. So you're crazy if you think that. Like, you really are. Like, you'd have to be really outside of your mind to believe that. It's the same way with Santa Claus, dude. These beings that you're taught about are supposed to be eternal. When did the Tooth Fairy die? When was she born? Right? She gonna be taking my kids' teeth, their kids' teeth, all the way throughout. When does Santa Claus die? Never. When was he born? We don't know where he came from. Who created him? He's a God. These people exist outside of time. So you teach your children these people exist. They don't have any kind of concept to understand it. You tell your child that the Tooth Fairy coming to get in their teeth. They ain't gonna say, why would somebody want my teeth? And where would the Tooth Fairy get money from? Like, what is the Tooth Fairy doing with my teeth? You just going to say, okay, and put it under the pillow because you're a child. You don't think. They're going to tell you that a man goes around the whole planet and gives gifts to everybody based on if they're good or bad. You don't have any kind of concept for how large the world really is. So how are you going to argue that? You don't know that there's people in the world who die every day from hunger. You would not know that Santa Claus don't deliver them gifts. All you know is that you see gifts outside in the morning. And my grandmother, she was poor, but whatever gift she got you is going to have from Santa Claus on it. Like, she actually would write from Santa on it. This right here for us was like, okay, Santa must be real. You feel me? Because then you go to a mall and you see a Santa Claus. This helps solidify your belief. They sit you on this man's lap. This is what I'm saying. If you remove the belief away from people, what person would sit their child on a grown man's lap? Just, hey, sit on my lap and let my child tell you what they want. Why would a man want to dress up and have children sit on his lap? The natural mind would automatically think that is perverted as crap, right? So, but you would take there'll be a line as long as the mall waiting to sit on another dude's lap to have your child tell another man what he wants for Christmas. And you know this man ain't real, but you got your kid in his lap. You see what I'm saying? So it's one of those things where it's like, if you know Santa Claus is not real and you're willing to teach it, how much more would you be willing to teach something that you actually believe is real? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I just can't. That's why I study what I study is the emerald tablets and the hermetics, because it's purely just natural law, plain and simple. Some of it, most of it, you can see and you can test. You can mess with law of cause and effect. For every cause there is an effect. For every effect there is a cause. There's no way around that. Nothing in the universe is absent of that. Now, belief is the thing that tries to go away from that. So belief says that, yeah, there was this Santa Claus dude. Now let's be clear about the whole Saint Nicholas whole deal, right? Was there a dude back in Turkey who was named Nicholas who gave some gifts to these families because he saw that they were poor and they were distraught, and he would sneak into their house and put some little gifts in there? Sure. But just like most things, they start out, then they become legend, then they become myth, right? So it starts out as a story or something that's possibly real, has some reality about it. Then it becomes a myth because people blow it up. And then all of a sudden now it becomes a legend. And then that legend gets spread to other people. And then it becomes this whole big mythology. And that's what Santa Claus is. That's what happened with dang near everything else. But what can never happen, what never is exposed to that and can't be exposed to that, is basic natural law. Now, it would take me all day, like 11, 12 hours to explain all of it in each law. Just the law of mentalism, I think I did like 5 videos just on that one law, just because it's so much to try to grasp and understand. And even at that, some of you still can't understand but basically the entire universe is just a mental construct. It's a mental construct. It's how you think of it. Because if you think about something in your subconscious and you emotionalize it strong enough, then that's what you will create. That's the reality that creates. But it's created because you start acting in a certain way that creates that reality. If Kevin said, in my mind, I see myself living in California. I see myself just living in California, going to the beach, and I'm just living in California. And that's all you think about. And you get that so ingrained, right, in your emotions that it becomes part of just what you start doing. All of a sudden, opportunity, because you're in that mode, you start seeing and noticing opportunities for you to go to California. Because you're seeing it, you start moving in direction, start, dealing with other people that can help you create that. You start doing things on your own that helps create that. And next thing you know, a year later, you now moved to California and you going to the beach. You just manifested your entire move because you first thought about it and then you lived it as if it was present. And then your law of cause and effect start occurring and you went.
Well, like they say, as it is in heaven, so shall it be in the flesh or on earth. And again, he dwells in temples not made of hands. So inside of these temples, what would that be? That would be heaven. This is the only heaven that you have in your mind right here. And the heaven that you can create outside of you. Like Lorenzo was saying, that the Bible talks about heaven is all around you and inside of you. So it's everywhere, right? If you can manifest something in here, we know that everything begins with a thought. And even it starts in the mind. If you stub your toe, the signals have to go to your brain first to let you know that you're even in pain. So it all starts here. If I see myself, if I say, okay, I want to be a doctor. I didn't just end up going to school on accident and getting a doctorate on accident. I wanted to go for that. It started up here. That's how it works. I think I'm going to get up and go walk off, and then I get up and go walk off. My body don't just act without my brain. So please understand what a lot of this literature is teaching you, how to use your brain to manifest heaven, or so to speak. Flesh is earth, right? Because your flesh is supposedly made from earth. Anything that is fleshly is lower vibrational, which is materialistic things that you would have in this realm, reality, things that you would want, desires, sexual desires. All these are associated with lower qualities because it's stuff that your flesh wants. Spiritual ideas, or what would be called spiritual ideas, are higher thinking, right? And that's the difference. That's heaven and hell. And so to speak, not, of course, hell is when you create the ripple effect from your bad decisions, what it puts you in. Like, so if you go around hitting people and you get locked up, that's your hell. Like you put yourself in a mental state. Some people cheat, and because they're in a cheating relationship, they're in a mental hell, having to watch their phone, hope somebody don't call it when they with somebody, always having to watch out for something they're doing because they know they're lying to somebody, and so they putting themselves in a hell trying to live both lives. So you are in a hell. You know you're not happy, and you torment it more now, even when you're home. You know what I'm saying? So you treat your phone like it's glued to you. You're afraid. You know what I'm saying? And any person who has been through that knows exactly what I'm talking about. That's what I mean. That's what the literature or other cultures are teaching about heaven and hell. It's just you're going to have to be responsible for your own decisions. You know. And the next thing, Lorenzo, I wanted to say this to you. Let's talk. Yes, sir.
I was gonna say we got 15 minutes before 2 hours. We can
Yeah.
go over. I mean, but one somebody asked who was on with you. That is Lorenzo Reed on Facebook. If you guys want to find Lorenzo. Also, he has a Patreon as well. I gotta get that link from you, Coach, so I can put it in the description box. Because somebody was asking.
/Coach Renz.
Yeah, somebody wanted to donate to you. Also, third. Well, okay, hold on. There's fourth. Third, when you don't, just this in general for people, just like Kevin was saying, like I already told you that the Bible's not true. So that's not to say you told. Just say you demonstrated, like from a standpoint of it cannot be applied. Like it's not real. You can't apply the things that are actually said. You can't have faith of a mustard seed to move mountains. You can't ask in God's name and He will do it. Obviously, God gets asked things a million times, none of them. But anyways, fourth thing, we have somebody that I guess wants to call in. So I don't know if you want to do that now or later or
yeah, we can definitely
Steve Turner, whatever I think his name is.
That's fine if he wants to call in. Just give me a moment. I want to talk about one more scene with Lorenzo. We'll go from there. We'll make it quick too. Someone asked Kevin, "Are you married or in a relationship?" I get that question a lot. Listen, whenever my video went viral, I ended up losing my job. I took a hiatus, if you want to call it that. I separated myself from everything and said, I'm working on me. I realized that after I left religion that I was useless. To be honest with you, like I didn't understand credit. I didn't understand like so much stuff because I spent my whole life in church. So whenever I end up losing my job, of course, finances drop. So what am I date for if I don't have finances, right? So my whole thing was like just stay to myself, work on myself, because when I lost my religion, of course, that was not easy for me. So I spent the last year or so doing nothing but learning and teaching. That's actually still where I am in my life. So can't really say I'm looking for that. But I will say that so like I want to say somebody asked what are the tattoos on my hand. I get that question often too. This one is a bull I put on this hand, and this one is a ram, and they rubbed off. I used to box, and so the boxing gloves would pull the ink out of my fist a lot. So I had it done like 3 or 4 times, and it's very painful. So there's no need in me getting it done anymore. But that's what that was, guys. For you guys that's asking. So now let's talk about that scene. That scene where he's going to go and be heard for his heresy trial, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're asking him to explain his case, because if he doesn't explain it correctly, he, of course, will lose his church. And this is how he lost it. He had people coming to his church, and he was in his ego. He thought he could be convincing to these people when he didn't realize who he was dealing with. They told him don't do it. So it wasn't that Carlton Pearson actually lost his church because people stopped going. In the beginning, it was like that. But he started building it back up, and then they called him, and they wanted him to come in. You feel me? They wanted him to come inside and speak himself. He owed it to the people to tell them his new views, his new perspective. And so he goes in there, thinking that he's going to compel these people. And they had no interest in compelling they had no interest in listening to this man. They knew what they were going to do. You see what I'm saying? But anyway, he starts it off. He asks them a simple question. Sure, LeSean, I will put my PayPal on Facebook. I will. But
it's on there.
Oh, it is? Okay. It's probably in the title.
Box.
Okay.
In the description box.
In the description box, guys. So anyway, he asked the preacher, do you have any loved ones that's in hell? And he said, yeah, my father is in hell, my daddy. And he said, how do you feel about that? He skipped the question. Nothing I can do about that. And that's what happens when you ask a Christian. Do you think your father deserves to be burned in hell for eternity? If I die not believing in God, do you think I personally should burn in hell? They always say, well, that's not up to me, because they know that's some evil crap. Like, they know that. So the dude did the same thing that other Christians do, and he refrained from answering the question. He said, that's not my choice. And he said, but if you could take him out of hell, would you? Well, that's not my choice. No, listen, I'm asking you, if it was possible for you to use the blood of Jesus somehow and get this man out of hell, would you do it? And that's when he gets quiet. And so now Carlton Pearson thinks that he has a lane, right? Okay, so now they understand, right? We would all try to get our loved ones out of hell. So now he starts to go into his thing, go into kind of his perspective. And so he says, if we would do this, if we would go all out to get our loved ones out of hell, does that mean that we are more patient and more loving and more forgiving than God? That question right there is what brought that pastor's cognitive dissonance and his ego out of him. Because that's when he said out loud, yeah, my daddy does. I'm glad my daddy burning in hell. That's when all of this came out. It was to prove a point. This dude didn't, like, obviously it's a movie we're talking about, but this man didn't say this until he realized he may be losing this battle. He realized that's some compelling stuff to say. So now, because this one man says, I'm glad my daddy is in hell, does that mean now everybody else thinks that? Because the question was for everybody. If we could do this, what would we do? The pastor didn't answer the question, so he's asking the people now. If we would go, if we would get our loved one out of hell, does that mean that we more loving and forgiving than God? That question's for everybody. And all of a sudden, here's the preacher. He didn't let the man say another word. You come in here, you are preaching heresy. You are a hypocrite, and you are not going to be teaching this in our churches. Our churches will not have it. I'm glad my daddy is in hell. I'm glad he's in there. Like, all this stuff is like, none of this has anything to do with what the literature that Carlton's talking about. If the man really cared, he would say, okay, stop with the questionnaire and prove your literature, dude. You're not here to ask me questions on who deserves to be in hell. That's irrelevant right now. Read your Bible and prove your case. That was the question. That's like when people come to me and say, I want to prove God is real. Somebody says to me, Kevin, God is real. You may not have any evidence for him, but trust me, I have evidence. I said 2 words, prove it. He said, who created you? I said, I didn't say ask me random questions. I said, prove it, dude. You don't get to ask me a question. Just prove it, because I know what you're going to do. You're going to take my lack of knowledge for how we were created and say that means that your God exists. And we know that's stupid and irrational. And I'm not even going to go there with you. Go ahead, Lorenzo.
Yeah. No, and when that scene, when he agreed to go there, I was thinking when I was watching the movie, like, that's a mistake. That's a mistake. And a lot of us make that mistake. We feel like we need to convince other people that they are walking in darkness, that they sleep, or that if you were part of an organization, that you're going to change that organization. I mean, look at history. I mean, history proves it. Martin Luther thought that by nailing his grievances on the door of his church, that he was going to reform the Catholic Church. People don't really think about that. Martin Luther wasn't trying to start Protestantism. He wanted to reform Catholicism. But that's not what happened, right? They kicked him out. They banished him. They declared him a heretic. Now, luckily, he was smart enough to disseminate that information, and the Gutenberg Bible had came out and all that kind of stuff. Well, the printing press had came out. And so he was in a position where he can spread his thoughts. And when I saw that, I was like, Carlton has made a huge mistake by thinking that he was going to walk in there and these people were actually going to listen. These people have made up their mind. That man have already made up his mind, and he was in charge of all those other bishops. And those other bishops knew that if they had sided with Carlton anyway, that he would then jump on them, and the rest of those bishops would jump on them as well. And they would lose their money. They would lose their church. They lose their house. They lose all the things that they've been building up all these years. And they just weren't going to do that. So it was like,
I want you to say that again for the people that were sitting in the back. Okay. Like, just the part where you talked about, if they had bought into his information and said, okay, you might have a point, that would cost them everything. So, which is proof they wasn't there to hear that. They wasn't there to be proven wrong. Right.
Yeah, they weren't. And even furthermore, what they don't show in the movie, but what Bishop Ellis has come out and said, is that he already had chosen 5 other bishops who were going to refute whatever Carlton was going to say. So that just further showed that they already had a made up mind. And he made sure that the last person was a very charismatic speaker who got the whole room up in praising and up in arms. Now, this is what Ellis said himself. I'm not making up anything, not taking any liberties. That's what the man just said a couple days ago in one of his own videos, is that he purposely had those 5 bishops ready. So they already knew. And Carlton walked into it. He walked into his own demise by doing that. His own demise at that point of his life by doing that, which made him have to start over. Right? Made him have to start. And it's fine. Sometimes you need to start over. Sometimes you got to wipe the whole damn slate clean and just go out there by yourself and start recruiting from scratch. But when that minister said, I'm glad my daddy's in hell. Now there's a debate about that between the two. But the minister Ellis did say that in his book, though. In his book, he said that his daddy's in hell and he's glad that he's in hell. Right? And that he's going to burn in hell for eternity. How can anybody be so evil, be so angry? I ain't gonna say evil, I'm gonna say angry. How can you be so angry that you would want your dad, who you said you adore, to be in hell forever? And because he said that, the damage is
like it's crazy.
Everybody down the line is going to start believing and saying the same thing. Everybody down the line to the last person in some little church in some podunk town who's Pentecostal, who follows, or AME, whatever they were, are going to now follow that line of thinking and saying, I was feeling bad that my mama or my grandma or my uncle or my brother is in hell. And I was feeling bad for him. But Bishop Ellis, and he's my leader, and it's been passed down that we're supposed to feel that way.
I'm glad they in hell because they deserved it. He spent his life. He had his choice. He didn't take his choice. And now he deserves to burn in hell for eternity. Like, because the narrative, that's my problem. Is like they read the literature and be like, okay, if you don't obey God or do what God wants you to do, then by default you deserve to be in hell. That's what the literature says. But that doesn't really mean you deserve to be in hell. That's if you buy this literature as the word of God. You see what I'm saying? Because someone doesn't want to do what you say do, doesn't mean they deserve to burn in hell. What if you're a good person? People say, well, it doesn't matter if you're good. You're still not saved. You still are born in sin. And that's a problem that starts with Adam and Eve. That's not a you problem. So even if you're a good person and you don't cheat on your wife and you pay your taxes, you will still burn for all eternity beside a rapist. What God do you serve, bro?
And think about what I said earlier. That belief says that Hitler is in heaven.
Right.
Because Hitler believed in Jesus Christ. And look what he did. But you give me some old lady that's living in some little town, and all she ever did was take care of her family, take care of the people in town, was nice and loving. But she believed in, the God on the mountain. That lady's going to hell. She believed in no God whatsoever. That lady got to burn in hell. Man, please. That's like a huge mind thing. And that line of thinking is only one step away from what the church was doing by collecting money for indulgences, as well as collecting money to get people, because one of the big things the Catholic Church, one of the ways they became wealthy, other than a bunch of other stuff, but one of those ways is that they told the people that if you have a family member who's in hell or in purgatory, then if you give us money, then we'll be able to pray them out and come on their behalf to get them out of purgatory, get them out of hell. So keep giving us your money. And then the people would do it. And they say, well, when is enough enough? And they was like, well, we never know when enough is enough. So make sure you keep giving it. That's what the Catholic Church used to do when they still had purgatory and all that. They don't do it anymore because they got rid of purgatory. Mm-hmm. But that he's just one step. Their organization is one step from that, because they get people believing that they should be in hell, and I'm glad they're in hell. The next step is to say that now if you want them to get out of hell for the second judgment, when the second judgment come around, we might be able to get them out. If we labor and pray on their behalf. I forgot what the term is when we stand in the gap for them. We'll stand in the gap for them to get them into heaven, because earth is the gap between heaven and hell. So we're going to stand in the gap and get them in heaven, but give me your money first. You give me enough money.
Watch this. Before we have Steve call in, I'm going to read something to you guys that I was reading this morning. A group of scientists Okay, let me just read this to you. This is prayer. Does prayer work? Intercessory prayer. Lorenzo said, standing in the gap. These Christians and different believers believe that they can stand in the gap for other people. You have people in the church that's literally called prayer warriors. Like, that's a real title that like makes you high up in the church. You're a prayer warrior. It means you know how to talk to the sky real good, right? So you have prayer warriors, and then you have what they call prayer service, which is typically on a Saturday. At least that's what my church held it. And everybody goes to church on Saturday morning, and they pray for a certain amount of hours until it's time to leave. You just pray from beginning to end. They have all night prayer service, Josh, on the night before New Year's. So they spend their whole night praying to God because tomorrow is going to be January the 1st, as if God created the months. Like, they really think it's a new year. So you're out there like at church. Father God, this is the new year. This is 2018. This is 2007, the year of perfection. This is 2008, the year of increase. It's not 2008 to your God. Like, why would you think God would go against to a Western calendar and say, they said this is 2018, even though my planet is in the Bible 7,000 years old. So I'm going to say, and if you want to be apologetic, you would say 15,000 years old, which is adding a lot of years because you're saying that each day to God is 1,000 years, which is what Peter said way later in the Bible. And you're saying that God thinks that way because Peter said it later, trying to preach and make somebody feel good. See, Tim Thomas said, my sister, a prayer warrior. There you have it. So, I'm going to read this to you. Here we go. Study concludes intercessory prayer doesn't work. Christians twist the results. So here we go. It says that what happens when others pray for you and you're unaware of it? So what does happen when people pray for you and you are not aware of it? To no atheist surprise, this has never been shown to work. So none of us would be surprised, or even if you're agnostic, you're not going to be surprised that this doesn't work, right? Because you're still waiting on evidence of this guy. The idea has been tested repeatedly. Usually the studies have flaws. Even when the results show that the intercessory prayer has no effect on anyone, those who believe in it will look at it and ignore it and try to rationalize the misses. They'll always say it was wrong. 3 years ago, a multi-million-dollar controlled double-blind study was conducted to test intercessory prayer. The study of therapeutic effects of intercessory prayer found two major results. Intercessory prayer had no effect on recovering from surgery without complications. 2, patients who knew they were receiving intercessory prayer actually fared worse. So, people who knew they were being prayed for actually did worse. Even I was surprised by that, says this guy. So were many Christians. This didn't sit well with them. Why is it that if someone knows they're being prayed for, it actually works less? Because this fear sets in, right? It's obvious that this intercessory prayer stuff doesn't work. Yeah. So when you look at somebody who says they put a multi-million-dollar controlled double-blind study was conducted and they still could not prove. So they have all these Christians praying for someone who doesn't know they're being prayed for, and no results happen. So just imagine, you know how you're in a police precinct and they have you behind a double mirror? You're looking at a mirror, you can't see the person on the other side. So just imagine you bring in a whole bunch of intercessory prayers and you sitting in the room, you don't know nothing. You're just sitting around your table, just sitting in the room. You don't see nothing. They all outside of the window. Father God, we asking you right now, Lord, touch him, Lord. Whoa, bless him right now to see. And I'm still in there. Nothing's happening. Nothing. Because I don't know nobody praying. You feel me? That's even if I'm a Christian. Now, if I'm a Christian and I can hear the prayer, they're saying things that resonate with what I was indoctrinated with. So that would make me happy. That's totally different. That's because you're programmed and they're putting you to sleep like a sleeper spy. Like you ever see like they have like Russian sleeper spies and stuff like that. And you say a word and all of a sudden they come alive, the spy. That's exactly what religion is like. There's words that turn you on, literally that turn you on. And you will automatically come alive for it. Like hallelujah. That you don't even know what that word means. That's a foreign word. That's not in the English language at all. But somebody shout that word out in church, you're going to be like, oh, hallelujah. You know, people who can really sing, they say it's super cool. Like, people be like, dang, start shouting and stuff. Because you resonate with the word. That's it. Here's the thing. And I'm hoping that my man is calling in. People believe that this stuff has power. Again, We talked about this before. If the name Jesus had power, why can't you say it to a person who's not aware of the name Jesus and they feel power when you say it? If the name Yeshua has power, why can't I once believed that the name of this deity was Jesus. I believe that God named him Jesus, and the original people who wrote this Bible never changed the name. I called him Jesus, and I thought that if you just say his name, demons would flee. I thought his name was Jesus, okay? So when I found out his name was Yeshua, I was like, what name is that? If the name Yeshua had power, Lorenzo, it would have blew me out of my seat the first time I read it. Like, I would be like, Yeshua, and just be like in the floor. You know what I'm saying? Beard, hair straight. Like I've been electrocuted. Like, because the name's supposed to carry power, right? But you can say this name to any person who never heard the name Yeshua, and they're going to be like, who? Come again? Like, I don't know what you're talking about. It sounds like, are you sure? Are you sure? Yeah, I'm sure. Definitely sure. You sure? Yeah. Right? No way. Yahweh. Right? For think about it. No way. Yahweh? You sure? Yeah. Like, they just sound like a conversation, not names, man. And nobody would hear those names and think they're powerful at first.
See, that needs to be a cartoon.
Josh, you know we're going to do that. You know we're going to do that.
you know, the thing about I get so many people with comments about that. And I actually just had somebody make a comment on one of my videos about something similar to that, where they were saying that, you know, they go into prayer and they say, and they put, I am sick, and I go into prayer asking God to help. You know, I'm telling God, and in my prayer, I say, God, I'm desperate for you to help me. But I'm just, and I was like, well, the problem is that in all your statements, your statements are actually saying you're sick and that you're desperate and that you're still sick. So, of course, your answer is you're going to stay sick. Nothing's going to change for you because in your mind, you've already decided that you're never going to be well. And as far as and so when I hear a lot of people praying, I hear them begging. I don't hear them praying. I don't hear them commanding life to give them what life should give them. I don't hear them demanding from life anything. I just hear them begging all the time. And begging gets you nothing. But did you ever go look at that video that I sent you about the hospital in China where they do chi energy work? And everybody was saying this lady, they showed the lady's tumor go away. And go research that, go look for that. But if you do the translation, those people took like a couple of months to get their mind right. That they was in there saying that basically the words were, I'm in the presence of a healthy woman. I'm in the presence of a healthy woman. That's what everybody in the room was convinced of. They were in the presence of a healthy woman. Not a woman with a tumor, that the tumor didn't exist. And then when it started decreasing, they just started saying some Chinese word that means now. And they just start saying now. And already. And the woman, and they show the sonogram where the tumor goes away. Now that's that's the power of knowing. And
exactly what I was about to say too.
Yeah, and that's the difference. It's about knowing. So when I hear people praying for stuff all the time and they're begging, please God, I know that I don't deserve it. And of course, the energy of the universe is saying, you know what, you don't deserve it. So you're not going to get it. And the same poverty you're in now, you're going to be in that poverty next year because you don't deserve it. Because that's what you're telling me. And what's more important, that's what you're telling yourself. You're telling yourself that you don't deserve it. So, of course, your actions never do anything to change your life. I hear people say to me all the time, like, man, I just want to fix my credit and I want to learn how to, I want to get my finances right. And I was like, okay, you want to, but are you willing to save 10% of what you make? Are you willing to correct these things that are on your credit? Man, I just pray to God would just, lead me in the right direction. Fool, I'm telling you the right direction. You're going to do the work because it's cause and effect. Either you send out the stuff or you don't. You start living on less so that you can then pay off your debt or you don't. You pay your bills on time or not. That's what's going to fix it. Not your prayer. You can pray all day, but your actions is going to dictate it. So,
and that's absolutely true. That's it, Lorenzo. I told him last week that the word prayer literally, not prayer, but the word ask literally means to plant a seed, to do. When you ask, you don't open your mouth and say, will you? you actually do. So when you asked for a harvest, it's because you planted a seed. How can you ask for a harvest of corn and you ain't planting no seed? Like, that's stupid. We know the universe or the earth don't work like that. If you want to have corn in your backyard, you're going to have to go get corn and put it in your backyard and ask the earth for it. That's what you're doing when you plant that seed. You're going to keep going back to it, watering it, making sure it's doing everything it's supposed to do. And before you know it, you're going to have a corn stalk back there. That's how asking works. You can't ask and not do. Like, that's ridiculous.
That's stupid. But that's what happens all the time. And then they'll say something like, oh, and then I just got a check. Yeah, because you paid too much money on your taxes, or you paid too much money on your property tax, or you was owed some money because somebody took too much from you. You didn't, it wasn't a miracle. It's something that was yours. And you just, you got it. And look at all this time you was without it. Look at all this time it was stolen from you. Like, I don't pay taxes all year. I don't pay taxes when I know that I'm not going to owe anything. So I don't pay anything. But when I know I'm going to owe something, I pay it. I pay it throughout the year. Or I might just wait to the end of the year and pay it. But I'm just doing how it works. That's just how it works. So when you put a seed in the ground, it's going to germinate because that's just how it works. That's how it's designed to work. So I was having a conversation tonight with my girlfriend's son, and I was just explaining to him how life just works, how getting a check works, how spending your money works, how saving money works, how to, if you want, like he wants to be an actor. Okay, you want to be an actor, but if you don't ever go to a casting call, guess what you're never going to be?
An actor.
An actor.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're never going to be one. If you don't go to the casting call, it's never going to happen. If you don't go audition, it's never going to happen. You don't go join a troupe, it's never going to happen. You got to go and do in order for it to happen, in order to be around the people, in order to have the opportunity. And too many people don't want to move themselves to go get and be ready for the opportunity to get whatever it is they demand from life. And see, when I meditate, I don't meditate. I know you use the word ask, and I understand what you're saying, but I demand. I tell this is what it's going to be, and this is what it is, and I don't want to hear nothing. And mainly I'm talking to the parts of my brain that want to have some doubt, and I tell that part of my brain, look here, I don't care what you are now trying to think about, but you're going to be 230 pounds with 16% body fat by the time we get to the end of December. That's what I'm telling you, dude. Now get over it and get your butt to the gym and eat right. Plain and simple.
Right, absolutely.
That's how it works.
That's in the same way. I demanded that I lost the weight I lost. I was 252 pounds, 257 pounds, something like that. I weigh 190 now. I mean, that didn't happen because I just wanted it. I wanted to lose weight for a long time, believe me. So it wasn't until I took control over my life and said, I'm going to go vegan. And then I changed my life. I made myself lose the weight. Like, you know what I mean? Now, I didn't have to sit here and meditate on it and be like, burn calories, Kevin. By me changing my lifestyle and what I was putting into my body automatically responded. This is how amazing you are. Someone says the power's already within. My body was never creating its own fat in terms of I'm just going to get fat on my own. My body was getting fat because of what I was putting in my body. As I don't have any type of disease in that area that would cause me, thyroid problems in that area, of course, that would cause me to gain weight. Some people do. I didn't have that problem. So my weight, of course, was associated with how I ate, my diet. Thank you very much, Robert, for the donation. But I chose to make that decision and change my life. If you don't understand that the power is all you, you're going to forever be believing that someone outside of you is doing it. I want you to imagine something. If you broke your arm, you broke your forearm, okay? You go to the doctor. He puts a cast on your forearm, and he tells you the cast is going to heal your forearm. How could you prove him wrong? Just imagine if everybody was taught that the cast is going to heal your bone. Just imagine that. How could you disprove it? People would still be saying today that if I don't get a cast on this arm, it's not going to heal. Oh, it's going to heal. It might heal broken, but your body naturally heals on its own. Your body is what's amazing. That cast just holds your bone in place while your body does the work. That's what happens. The cast is not healing you. You're healing you. And the same way you go to the doctor and get medicine, they may give you something that helps fight the disease or the sickness or the bacteria that was causing you to be sick. But what the medicine they're giving you is not making you better. Your body's doing that. Your body's recovering on its own. If I get cut right now, I don't have to think to myself, Kevin, you better heal. DNA in my body is going to rush to that spot. and clot that blood and heal that for. I'm not even in control of that. Like my DNA does that. I have cells in my body that's I'm not even in control. My body is absolutely amazing. And that's what you guys don't understand. Your body going to work whether or not you have the mental capacity for it to work at all. I don't care who is born with what mental defect. Their body will still heal itself when they're cut, no matter who you are, unless you have a problem with a blood clotting problem. And in that way, you may need something to coagulate your blood and then hold you together while you heal. But your body does this, guys.
Let me show you proof of that.
All right.
When my 11th grade year playing football, I broke my wrist, right? And I put the cast on, but I was running around hitting people with my cast, hitting, other football players with my cast and all that kind of stuff.
I did that too.
Right? So my body is healed, but you see how far down that wrist goes?
Mm-hmm.
That's as far down this other one goes. It won't bend the same way. I can't get them to bend the same way. It healed. It just healed wrong.
Mm-hmm.
It healed in this stuck state where it doesn't fluctuate. Like I can't get down and put my hands flat on the ground and push up.
I'm the same way.
I have to do push-ups on my.
I can't straighten this finger out.
So,
same thing.
The cast had nothing to do. The cast was there to keep it in place. But I had to, and so it still healed. It still did what it was going to do. My body still say, okay, if you want to keep doing this and disrupting the flow of it, bro, we just gonna heal at different points, however we can. And if I hit it against something, it still hurts like a big dog. But you're absolutely right. That's why I look at nature and I look at the universe and how it just works no matter what. It doesn't matter what you do. And like people will say stuff like, oh, God is an on-time God or that sort of thing. No, it has nothing to do with anything like that. It is all cause and effect. It is all cause and effect. If something happens to you today, it ain't got nothing to do with your prayer. It got something to do with whatever caused it earlier to be in motion to get there to you. If I was working with these people and they got this check from a car company because they had paid too many payments, right? And they got the check like in December. And they was like, oh, see, God is an on-time God because I was needing some money and I got the check from the car dealership and that sort of thing. And they was like, see, God is on time, right? Because this ain't tax money because I didn't get it in April. It ain't tax money. I was like, well, you got it in December because most companies fiscal year end, or a lot of companies year end happens because this company worked with the government as well. Their year end is the same time as the government, which is September. So, of course, when they finished their books and did all their reconciliations in August through September, they saw the discrepancy. They fixed it in their book so that when they start their new year, in September and start their new year October 1st, then your check was on the way because of that. It ain't got nothing to do with your prayer. It's because that's when that company's year end is and you paid too much money. That's why you got that check for that car payment. But, so it's this mentality is what they got to escape. What people got to escape is just cause and effect. Everything has a cause. There's nothing that happens without a cause.
Right.
Your healings, your
and it's a simple
fact. Even the level of things that we don't fully understand, there is still some level of cause. This is what the law of correspondence is saying, is that for whatever we don't understand at this level, it's still not luck. It's still not the spirit of God moving. It's just things happening at levels of consciousness that we just don't understand yet. And it's just, that's as simple as it is. You just don't get it. You don't know why certain things happen. You don't know the cause and it's just happened where you don't know. It's just like if you're standing on a beach in Florida and all of a sudden a tidal wave come and sweep you off and kill everybody, right? At that moment, you didn't know that a shelf fell off of an island over in the Canary Islands in Montserrat that a big volcano exploded. The shelf fell down and it created this tsunami. All you saw was a tsunami, but you don't know what the cause was. So you'll say, oh, God swept them people away. Now you just don't know what it was. And you just have to find out what it was. Everything has a cause. Everything. Nothing exists without it.
So what you were saying earlier, like I broke my hand boxing. I knocked my knuckle, this knuckle right here, back. It's still right here today. Like they could never bring it back up. It's called a boxer's fracture where your whole knuckle gets knocked right here. Lorenzo, my knuckle, you can see it right there. Like it's right here in my hand. And I'll tell you what's crazy, man. It hurts every time before it rains. Like all of that. You know what I'm saying? All of this is associated with me breaking my bone. But this finger right here was broken as well, and I had to wear a cast on my hand. So it was like I had these two fingers here and the rest of it, and I was going around doing the same thing you was doing, hitting people. That's probably why my crap didn't heal right. Because you got that hard cast, you're like, blow, boy. You thought I was handicapped. I got an extra power now. Blow, you know.
I mean, all these teenagers and stupid. And you know what the causal factor of that was? Being a stupid teenager. That's what it was.
Not knowing. Hang on. Steve is saying he can't get on. I don't know what's going on, Steve. This is my first time hearing of that. Josh, do you know anything of this? Steve is saying he cannot get on. Let me know if you know, brother. Just trying to figure out what's going on with Mr. Steve here. We would love to have you on, Steve, just to hear your perspective. Of course, we saw you. What's your email? Okay. Thank you, Josh. We're going to get you straightened out. But again, guys, like you have to understand that these things happen from the inside of your body. Your body your body does these things. For all you know, I mean, you could be consciousness into a biological meat suit. I mean, the meat suit that's alive. How do you know? You don't control any part of it, really, other than where you go, but you can't just control what it does. You can't heal yourself, right? Any of these things. Most of us got things about ourselves we don't even like and we would change. You have no control over your body. It is what it is. You didn't choose who you look like, no nothing. So you're just doing the best with what you have. You see what I'm saying? So it's just crazy, man, that people actually still, that people can be convinced. And I can see why, though. When you tell somebody that the dopamine that their brain is producing because they heard something they liked is God, how would they know the difference? Unless they think about it. Wait a second. I hear this dopamine when I watch Rocky, right? When Rocky does his speech that gets everybody rallied up on any given Sunday, I feel that same dopamine when they give that speech, right? When I hear that song I love that's worldly, that's not even a Christian song, it still gives me those chills. When somebody says something to me that makes me feel good, I still feel those chills. So why do I think because I heard something about God that it's God touching me? But when I heard R. Kelly's song, it wasn't R. Kelly touching me, right? When I heard Rocky saying, when you were a child, I held you in my hand, you got to hit harder. Remember that? That's one of the baddest speeches. Life hits hard, but you got to be willing to take the hits. It's not how hard you can throw a punch. It's how hard you can take a hit. You got to be willing to take the hits. When you hear this, you will be like, woo! It'll make you want to get up and do something with yourself. As a Christian, this gave me chills.
Get back up and
keep
moving
You keep moving forward. That's how winning is done, right? That speech is, I can quote it verbatim. I'm talking about the speech is on point. Did Rocky touch me? No. This man said something that caused dopamine to be increased in my brain. The same thing that drugs, sex, seeing somebody you're attracted to, hearing something that sounds good to you creates dopamine in your brain. You don't associate that with a God. Why would you associate preaching and dopamine with your God? You're simply hearing what you like and it sounds good and you getting excited. They said, I know my Redeemer lives. You got up and ran around the church and you think that means God is real. First, you had to be convinced that you had a Redeemer, right? So if someone just came out of the blue and said your Redeemer lives, it wouldn't even do nothing for you. Like, period. You had to be taught all of this stuff. So people really don't have the capacity, or especially when they're in church, to understand that how powerful their own bodies is, how powerful their own mind is. Because people will say, well, God spoke to me. They don't understand that that's their own brain and that's their own thoughts that they're projecting to a God that they can't even see. It's like this, man. I say this, I'll have people who will comment on my pictures, right? And they'll say something like, you gay, you look gay, you're a pretty boy, you full of yourself, right? You love to look at yourself. You take too many pictures. Number one, I would never look at another person's pictures and say, you take too many pictures. That's stupid. I would never keep count on how many pictures you take. I don't care. You put as many pictures up of yourself as you want. I would never look at another man and assume that he's gay or thinks a certain way because of how he looks. But let me tell y'all what this is. Most of what I get, every time I've gotten this, I've gotten it from a man. Here's what happens. Most men, they grow up thinking that if you think another man is attractive or you think another man might get a woman, that you might be gay. People tease each other this way. So these men grow up with this ego thinking that they're not allowed to think another man is a good looking guy. Like, that's not a problem for me. I can see a woman who's pretty. I can see a guy and say, oh, that's a good looking guy. Doesn't mean you want to sleep with a guy, be with a guy. It's a natural thing. You can say it's a person's good looking. If I have a friend and a female says, what do he look like? If I think he's a good looking dude, like if I'm trying to hook Lorenzo up with some woman or whatever, how does he look? He's a good looking guy. You would like him. Doesn't mean I want Lorenzo, but some men can't handle that. So if they look at you and they think that you're attractive, or they look at you and they think that you might get a girl, they're going to project how they feel about you onto you. They'll say something like, you think you all of that. If any of you guys have ever started a job or worked at a job where people did this to you, that's exactly what they're doing. They're projecting on you how they see you. You know you've done nothing to deserve it. And that's how powerful the mind is. When I was a child, I used to play with my toys. My men, they used to fight each other. Boom, 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 boom. And they would have conversation. One was a good guy, and this dude was a good guy to me. Like that other one was a bad guy. And they had a whole scenario, and I would project their voices at each other like they were really talking. This is what you guys are doing with this God that you believe lives in the sky. Some of y'all even look up when you pray. You think God everywhere, but you'll be like, Father God, because you was taught to do that. And again, you think that this is something that's really happening, and it's not. It's all in your head. When you think you're hearing God back, it's literally your mind. A person who wasn't religious, Lorenzo, they would say, I had epiphany. I had an epiphany, right? Or I had a rude awakening. A thought hit me. They won't say, and the Lord said to me, right? It's a totally different thought. God told me to tell you this versus I had an epiphany, right? I learned something. My brain got it today, right? It learned something. Instead of saying I had an epiphany, or, I was thinking and I came to this conclusion, preachers would rather say, God dropped this in my spirit, right? And I didn't want to teach this thing. I had a whole nother message plan, but you got to obey God. Man, shut up. Ain't nobody told you. Ain't nobody told you nothing. You're lying. You just want to teach this message, and you try to give it to God to make the people listen harder. Because when you say God got a word for you, people be like, "Oh, do we?" And they listen harder. You see what I'm saying? Like all this is a tool to get you to like listen, like to really sit there and get excited about what they're saying. Knowing they about to tell you the same stuff they told you last week. Again, pastor, he preaches on the past. That's all they do. They're not giving you any new information as far as what to do with your actual life. Even if you go to them with a real problem, they're going to give you a story from the past and tell you how David handled it, right? A pastor, right. Just remember it that way. He's called a pastor, which means all he do is teach you the past. You the oar. Remember, I taught you guys, oar is a tool that's used to paddle in water. Row your boat. You are the oar. Okay, understand, a docked oar is called a docked oar because he docks your oar. This is cryptic language. This is etymology at its finest. If you don't believe me, look it up. Okay, so when you're dealing with a past oar, he teaches oars about the past. Literally, that's what you rowing your boat to the same church and you realize you ain't getting nowhere. The same, you've been coming here in the same message. You ain't got farther in your life. It's crazy, man. Thank you very much, Erwin. So, just think about that. Next time you think about that name, pastor, all they do is talk about the past. That's it.
That's all they can do.
Exactly.
And most of the time, like when they're coming up and they're saying that, because I'm going to be here. This is me. A lot of the videos I make, something happened. I saw something on TV. I'm studying something. I'm listening to something on the radio, and it reminds me of something that's going on, or it might be something that's going on in my life. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, man, God, I'm just having moments of brilliance, as I like to call them. That, I'm listening to like this guy, Gary Vaynerchuk. He's a marketing guy. And he says something about hustle and hard work and about marketing. And that may cause me to start thinking about other areas of life where you need to hustle and have hard work and dedication towards it. And maybe I heard somebody yesterday say something about relationships, and I'm thinking, oh man, you know what? You need to have hustle and hard work and dedication to your relationship. It's not something that's going to fall out of the sky. It's something you got to put some effort into. Something you got to step outside yourself to make sure that works. Because if you want greatness in your relationship, then you got to dominate in those things of actions to make your relationship great. I go on a video, I sound like I had an epiphany. I had an epiphany. I had some things came to me and I put it together, but it's not God speaking through Gary and God speaking through this person. It's just the fact that my brain, my antennas just been cued in the things that are going on. And now I'm speaking about it and it makes sense. These pastors, they hear that they watching TV. They hear another pastor on TV preach a good message, and all they doing, they say, "Ooh, that's a good message. God is speaking to me through what's that dude? What's the happy preacher name in Texas?
TD
Whatever his
Jakes.
name is. They got,
Jakes.
God speaking to me through TD Jakes.
Mhm.
I heard TD Jakes his message. I'm gonna go to my church and preach, and I'm going there and say, God spoke to me this morning. That's because you listened to TD Jakes on the way to church, and you had your message, and yeah, you just preaching somebody else's message because you heard something that motivated you. That's the only, and they do it over and over again. I do like how Solomon said, "There's nothing new under the sun." There's nothing new. There's nothing that I say that's new. Nothing Kevin says new. Everything is nothing new. It's all the same stuff. It's just repackaged and redone. And people keep buying into it because they connect with some emotion. That's why half the people walk out saying that, "Ooh, that message was for me." And other people walking out like, "Oh, preacher just preached good." And the rest of them, and I say half, a third and a third and a third. The other third just walking out like same old, same bull last week as was, the week before. That all I got to do is just wait for Jesus. Just keep praying. But the ones who got that emotional fix, though, those are the ones that they keep getting. If they didn't get you this week, they'll get you next week. Because everything is about appealing to your emotions. And that's where people get so caught up and so lost, because they allow them to appeal to their emotion. If you're suffering financially, but then they do the whole sermon about, God's been watching you suffer. And he's seen your suffering, and he's recognized your suffering. You've been faithful through your suffering. You maintained through your suffering. And now God's going to maintain you. He kept the water on for you, kept the lights on for you. You get all happy.
Mm-hmm.
Next thing you know, you're caught up. He got you. You said that was a message to you. And then when he asked you to take the seat, you planted.
Right.
He got somebody on.
Yeah, I think we possibly have Steve on. We don't.
It's Andre.
Oh, we have Andre on. Okay. So apparently Steve is saying he can't get on.
He's dodging, bro.
Yeah. I mean, we ain't never blocked nobody from getting on. So I mean, he need to quit telling lies.
He could be, but since Josh always pick on me, I'm gonna say that Josh, it don't always work for everybody.
Bruh, we specifically squished the Skype just for you, Coach. I don't want to hear nothing no more. We specifically switched the whole thing just for you. I don't want to hear nothing. Everybody else can always get on except you. I'm like, all right, let's find something different for Coach. I did this just for you.
Josh, I appreciate it. So great. You are the man. Click master.
I appreciate it. I love you, brother. But now he's
Someone heard you typing earlier, Josh, and thought it was me. I need to let everybody know I don't type that fast. If you hear me typing, it's gonna sound like click, 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 click. Josh stuff.
He just said something about and talk, but he can't talk on it. Make sure the camera one is on, the microphone, or the camera or the microphone, a little button. Press the microphone or the camera.
His nigga said she gonna pray for Steve. Pray for him to stop playing. Pray for him to stop ducking. Look, man, you got nobody to blame but your God, dude. Like, you supposed to come on here and prove he real. And this dude won't even let you into the sky.
He's just gonna prove.
Yeah, that's right. Anytime we had technical issues, they were like, "See, God is shutting them down."
Mm-hmm.
The universe is.
He said he was just gonna prove me wrong.
He said he was just gonna prove you wrong. I mean, that's obviously the best objective.
I mean, you'll
destroy you, and that makes him real. But Andre, you there?
Yeah, what's up?
What's up, Andre?
What's going on, bro?
Not much, brother.
I wanted to chime in real quick because we had the same conversation. I had a cousin that died on Tuesday, so I was at the barbershop on Friday getting my hair cut for the funeral. And, like I said, I used to be a Christian. My whole family is still Christian. So my cousin, who was actually the organ player for the church that I used to go to, was there. And my man used to cut my hair. He's a Muslim. Mm-hmm. But it was a guy in the chair, right? And he was saying, like, even though he doesn't attend the church, how he still believes in God. Now, I'm not judging him at all, but at the same time, he had a Black and Mild in his hand. He talked about how he drinks all the time. And then even after he got out the chair, he said, "Yo, Dre, you know where I can get some weed from?" I said, "Yeah, that's God." But during this conversation, we was talking about the Come Sunday movie. And, I told him, I said, I am a proud atheist. I said, because I refuse to think outside of logic. And I said, logic to me will never allow me to feel that an all-knowing being that loves us can allow people to go hungry in the street, and then some people to live in Beverly Hills and other people to live in a tent. Like that, to me, that just don't even sound natural.
I'm saying, I'm with
you. Say it again.
I'm with you 100%.
Yeah, because if, like you said, Kev, you have children, so you can't watch one of your children starve and then say, I love my children. You understand? But God is love, allegedly. But the point I'm trying to make is, so when I said to them similar to that statement. So my man, the barber, says to me, he says, Dre, that's personal choice. I said, what? I said, so a child chooses to be born in poverty? He said, no, but their parents chose to put them in poverty from their actions. I said, but where is this all-powerful God that loves all of us equally? Because if you meet a Christian, what do they say? I'm blessed and highly favored. So you're more favored than the Muslim. You know what I'm saying? Or you're more favored than the Buddhist.
Absolutely.
You know, and the one thing I like about the movie, even though the movie definitely tiptoed around the tulips, the one thing I liked about the movie is that it provoked thought within a person who could be on the fence. For example, it starts off with the woman in the airplane and see how he was questioning, like, what makes her God less than mine, right? But he kind of snapped out of it and he still prayed for her. And then it gives you the uncle, which is his family member, who's basically saying, well, I'm a good dude. I just made some bad decisions, blah, blah, blah. But you could save me. And he had to question that. Then it had to question the lifestyle choice of homosexuality, whether it's a lifestyle choice or not. But look what it did. It gave you so many different scenarios to show them these all are humans, right? And all of these people are bound by this alleged God who really isn't saving none of them. Like what's his name? Michael, the guy who died of HIV.
Yes, sir.
He was saying, like, God is mad at me. This man said, God is mad at me.
Absolutely.
He said, I'm not one of his. You know, so it's like, when we just think, listen, if no matter what God you may believe in, but if you just think logically, it's almost impossible to believe in these outside of yourself, right? If there's a God is within you, whatever power that exists, we're praying to something outside of us that are looking within us. And I think that movie, even though that movie definitely tiptoes around it, it's really a thought-provoking movie. The movie's only an hour, maybe 25 minutes, something like that. So it doesn't really get into depth of even where, what's his name? Carlton
Pearson.
I forgot.
Pearson.
Yeah. It doesn't even like now he's produced a couple YouTube videos where he's now coming out saying what his true belief is now. He believes in universalism and blah, blah, blah. But at least the movie gave you a dynamic of showing you scenarios of different people in their everyday life and how does God affect them? You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what we have to look at, because if you, like I say, I tell any black person, how can you live in poverty and believe in God at this point? Like, it just don't even make sense. Like, I was talking to my homegirl in Sacramento because I have to go to LA next week. And I told her, if you live in Jordan Downs projects in Compton, let's say you found a car and you drove up to Beverly Hills, how could you still believe in God? Because you say, okay, so God hate me. I'm living in a one-room flat, you know what I'm saying, and around gangs. And then these people, maybe 35 minutes up the road, is living in a lap of luxury.
Right.
Don't miss any meals. And don't go to church.
Right. Don't go to church. And that's what's crazy. When you get to those areas and look at the percentages of the churchgoers in those areas, they're way smaller than poor areas. You see, and then when you look in the South, church is way higher in the South, where slavery was prevalent. And it seems to not be linked to a God at all. It seems to be linked to belief of poor people. That's what it looks like.
Right. And a matter of fact, side note real quick, and Josh know what I'm talking about. So I produced a shirt that says God is good and money is better, right? Now, my cousin, who's an organ player, the day of my cousin's death, he was sitting on the porch of his house, and he got a phone call, and it was a homosexual guy. And the guy says, hey, J.E., would you play for a bisexual or a transsexual wedding? My cousin said, I play for a bisexual, trisexual, anything you want, a bisexual. I said, man, get a Lord of hand clap. If that don't prove my point. I mean, and I said, J.E., how much you charge to play at a wedding? He said, $350, $500. I said, get a Lord of hand. If it ain't, listen, it's just money, man. Listen, it's business. Religion is business. No matter what you think about, it's just business. That's it. It monetizes your thought. It monetizes your belief. That's all it does. That's all it does, man.
Right.
That's all I wanted to say, though.
Man, man, you always drop bombs when you call it, Andre. I knew it was gonna be ready as soon as you said you was on.
See,
But I'm gonna stay on though. I'm
All
gonna
right,
stay
that's what's
on
up.
with y'all though.
That's what's up.
I tell people when I throw the link out, it's just for this person or that person, but I really like Andre, so he
Yeah,
gets a pass.
Andre a
And I
beast, no doubt
appreciate
about
you,
it.
Josh, man.
I appreciate you too, bro. I think Elijah's on.
Okay.
Is that your name?
Can y'all hear me?
Yes, we can.
Oh wait,
Uh,
Elijah. Before you say anything,
don't say my name, please
oh,
don't.
I got you.
But you know what? On the same deal, if certain people are on this call, then they probably already where I am. I got a question. Maybe it's elementary to y'all, but because I'm on the ground and I hear a lot of conscious people and they they're kind of puzzled. How can people stay in this religion thing? Well, I probably been woke up since about 4 weeks ago. I read Dr. Walter Williams' book, Origin, the historical origin of Christianity, and I had been running from it for a while till a friend challenged me to just really, really do the research. And I'm hurt right now because I'm a pastor, and I'm not the kind of dude to stay in a lie. I just can't do it. But I got people to feed. But anyway, here's my question, and I haven't heard any of the apologists, anybody in my team, nobody can answer this. And it came from I was watching. I don't even want to say that because depending on who's. But I was watching a movie with a friend. Here's what we know. Here's a fact. There are people at whatever point in time after the so-called resurrection that had no knowledge whatsoever, none of a Jesus, none, and they are dead. Okay, now here's the thing. You have to meet them. I would have said us, but them. You have to meet them on their grounds. Here's the grounds. The Bible says that this God is not willing that any should perish. And in the same breath, you cannot go to heaven without obeying the gospel. Wait a minute. That is a straight up problem that nobody, I have not met anybody. The scholars, I've been on YouTube. I'm looking for the guys with the PhDs to answer, and they make up some bull crap stuff about, oh well, God will judge you in the knowledge that you have. No, that ain't what it says. It says, and by the way, it's a flawed book. It's made by man, so it's gonna have flaws, right? And if we use the trivium, thanks, Renz, I saw your video on Facebook, and I went and looked up the trivium, and I'm teaching my son. Man, for real, y'all don't even understand how I'm sick. I preached today.
No, I know exactly how you feel, brother.
These people up. So, I'm just saying that question. I think it goes a little further than the movie because that we have to acknowledge that these people, the Zulus, all those people, they didn't even know who Christ was, man, and they did. But the same God, you telling me he's not willing that any should perish, and then the same God's gonna tell me, but Jesus Christ is the only way. Well, how am I gonna get there if I never heard of him?
Absolutely.
Nobody. Who can answer that? Nobody.
And if you really think about it, man, what would you do even if you did get there? If you spent your entire life, man, worshiping Krishna, and you get up there and see Jesus, you're not even gonna know what to do in that heaven. Like, how are you gonna worship somebody and you don't even know him? Like, just think about, like, if you died and went to heaven and saw Krishna, what you gonna say to this man? What you gonna thank him for? You don't know nothing about this man. So you would be completely like out of the loop in terms of even how to worship this dude. Like, this man would have to introduce himself, tell you everything about himself. Like, he gonna have to give you a whole new book to read just so you can learn him. And this is the people who say, well, everybody will go to heaven. Well, what they going to do when they get up there? Because most of these people, if you're dealing with Christians and then you take every other religion and atheist, agnostic together, they would outnumber Christians as a whole. Most people in heaven wouldn't even know who this Jesus or God was and what he wants. You see what I'm saying? And it's the idea itself is, it's like to try to clean up some of the information. And of course, these apologists and preachers, when they don't have the answer to something, they completely just skip over it. And this is why, even as a preacher, you can say it for yourself. We don't, even as a preacher for myself, we don't just hide from it. We stay away from it until it's revealed. That's our thought. God, until you reveal this to me, I'm not going to touch it. That's the thought in your mind, right? If I don't understand something, why would God wait to reveal something to you? Just think about it. I'm reading the literature now to try to get people to understand it, but you're not going to reveal it to me. Like, why would you hide literature from me? You see what I'm saying? So even the whole thought of it's really what you mean is I don't understand it, but you misapply it to say it hasn't been revealed yet. You see what I'm saying? And again, it's cryptic language, a lot of it. So again, when you hear it's not God is not willfully sending you to hell. What it sounds like is it's not God's want to send everybody to hell. But hey, if you don't accept Jesus Christ, that's where you'll end up. But I thought that what God wills happens. I thought that nothing would happen. God has the power to the whole world. Everything happens within his plan. You feel me?
Right.
So when you look, and then of course you can find scriptures that suggest that everything don't happen within his plan. Again, that's what Carlton Pearson was saying. Like, okay, look, I know you guys going to look in the Bible and see where it says you have to be forgiven from your sins and you got to repent and even pray in the name of Jesus. But man, for every scripture you can find, I can find another one that says that you don't have to be forgiven, that you are completely saved.
There you go.
And that's what's said.
That's a contradiction.
That's a contradiction. I'll say this right here, and I'll let you continue. People say, well, the Bible doesn't condone slavery because it says if a man steal a man and sell him, he should be killed. You're right. The Bible doesn't condone slavery, but you're wrong because the Bible does condone slavery. You see what I'm saying? Because it also says if a man is in slavery, he can go free after 7 years. But if a woman is in slavery, she can't go free, period. If a man is enslaved, 6 years if you buy a Hebrew servant, 6 years shall he be enslaved or work for you. After the 7th year, he should go free if he's had no children with the slave master or your master. So if you've had children within that camp, your children stay with the master forever. So this is clearly, that's not indentured servitude. What do those children owe the master? Not a single thing, but they'll be enslaved forever. That is a direct contradiction, but Christians don't see it as that. They say, well, you got to understand what was going on at that time. God was trying to work with people. Like, come on, bro. You mean to tell me that God's will is to work within the confines of man's immature, undeveloped mind? So when God said stone women for having sex outside of wedlock, that wasn't God being evil. That was God working within the construct of man's already evil mind. And that was the best way to handle it. That's just crazy talk.
Supremacy, bro. Supremacy, bro. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna give it back. First of all, again, much respect. I told my church this, but they just don't know where I'm going. Here's the thing that I want to put out on y'all. There were at least three levels to our slavery. Ptolemy, and when they came in and did this thing with the Bible, and they had all these 700 years to perfect it and get it right. Also, Renz, I saw your thing on the arch. That's genius, man. Appreciate that. Here's the thing. So we went from physical slavery, then we come out and we think it's over. You got a number of people that think that's over, but then the somewhat woke people, you about to wake up and you realize, no, wait, there's psychological chains. So you come out of the psychological slavery and then, but wait a minute, you think you free? No. They have entrapped our very souls because you feel as though if you don't act a certain way, they got a heaven or a hell to send you to. And we don't even talk about the spiritual, the non-physical slavery, bro. We are in slavery at least on three levels. Either you in the physical, well, they still got that for you because that's 13th Amendment, just put conditions on the slavery. But then you get the psychological, so you wake up just a little bit. But then you still in this religion that makes you passive, and you don't realize, well, yeah, it's they stupid junk. Like this nation was founded on Christianity. I've been ripping that apart in my church and showing them this is straight up pagan. This is straight up. I'm just trying to show the contradictions, but I'm gonna let y'all have it, man. Y'all just.
Can I say something to the pastor real quick?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I just want to say this. Like, your story is similar to mine, right? When I was a little kid, I had a grandfather in North Carolina who was a pastor, right? And he used to have this huge study. Now, I have a real good, I have a photographic memory. So I used to always, when I used to go down and visit him, I used to always see him reading. So one day, I seen him read, and I seen a look on his face. And he said, "Come here, boy." And I said, "All right, what's going on?" He says, "What do you do when you study to a point where you realize all you studied is a lie?" He says, "Do I send my congregation home? Or do I continue to sell them the hope that they rely on to get through the week?" You understand where I'm coming from? And I tell you that to say this. Sometimes the gift is the curse, but the gift also has to be the maturity to walk your people or walk your congregation Like, I would tell you like this. My personal thing I would do. It's like next Sunday or any Sunday, say, listen, y'all, let's have a conversation like this. Do we need a book to understand not to steal from your brother, not to sleep with your brother's wife, not to kill your brother? If we don't, then why don't we practice first being good people before we practice being good Christians? And if you get them into that mindset, right, then you can kind of slowly, because you know how many more people are bound to the book, just to the book of the thought, the process of the book, right? Hence the whole term, the Bible says, right? But they never ever say, well, it doesn't need, like me, if I see a homeless man, I'm not going to go kick him because it don't feel right.
Right.
You understand where I'm coming from? So sometimes we have to be able to first take one shackle off, let him heal from that, take another shackle off, let him heal from that. You understand where I'm coming from?
Right.
And that's it. Like listen, I'm sure Kevin, I'm sure Renz, Josh, I was just at a funeral, all Christians, right? I had to sit there and be and you know what I did? I just listened to every verse that was read and I broke it down in my mind. Okay, I know what that's about. Okay, I know what that's talking about. Yeah, that's it. Because at the end of the day, your journey will never be the same as Kev or mine or whoever had to leave that doctrine, right? And like, I think Kev made a post, I think last week, talking about how lonely he was feeling. Man, listen, I don't know. Hey, Kev, when did you first step out of it? What, 2014? Something like that?
Yep, like 2014, yep.
Me, I could tell you right now, it was when I had my daughter, right? So it was February the 1st, 2013, when I realized my wife was up to no good, right? And from that day, I swear, it was like 2 weeks I didn't sleep. I just studied. I studied languages. I studied origins. Like how you read Walter Williams' book. I read that. I read all of that stuff, right? And then I was lonely. I used to sit out my place in Brooklyn and look out the window all night long. Just look out the window. I felt lonely because when you leave that shit, you understand you are by yourself. You know what I'm saying? And that's just what I wanted to tell you, man. Listen, it's a slow walk. You know what I'm saying? It's a slow walk. And when you understand that, I know it hurts, B. Listen, trust me, I know it hurts because I come from the whole lineage of that. The best thing I can tell you is to slow walk it, and especially the people, because think about this. If you know how you feel, just imagine your congregation, right?
Yeah.
Just imagine the people that's looking towards you for guidance, right? So don't, you have to really sugar feed them that. Because always remember, the sweet lie always tastes better than the bitter truth. You know what I'm saying? That's all I want to tell you, though.
Thanks, bro.
You know what?
Appreciate y'all.
I was thinking exactly the same thing that Andre was thinking. The only thing I would add to it is, since you've started teaching your son the trivium, is to, before you start dropping the contradictions and that sort of things to them, before you teach, or in the beginning, like right now, teach them the trivium. If you teach them the trivium, then what happens is they start to think that they've come to these realizations themselves. Because in truth, they will. You would just guide them into coming into it themselves. And if they come into it themselves, then yes, it's still painful, but at least it's something you didn't force it on them. You didn't push it on them. You just showed them. First, you taught them how to critically think. And then once they don't understand how to critically think, now it's, they're coming to these realizations themselves that it's contradictory, that this aspect of it don't make sense. When you compare the history of the world to what this is saying, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't work out, because the first thing about the trivium is just gathering the knowledge, then putting that into a format of understanding, and then wisely thinking through it with your rhetoric. And that will help them to move out of it just as much as it's helping you. So I would add the trivium to it.
Yeah. We do. Matter of fact, my son doesn't even know. Only person knows where I am mentally right now is my wife. She understands me, but she can't let that thing go. But my son doesn't know, but I always encourage him to think for himself. And I refuse, even when I was believing in that stuff, I refused to press it on him. And we had a long talk today about the trivium, and I'm just telling him, you process this information. Don't let me or anybody else put something on you, you will not be bound. I just won't put them in that. But thank y'all so much. Renz, I put up my first video like 10 minutes ago. Like after you said that, I uploaded it. It's not that good. When you and Kev get a chance, can y'all give me some feedback, some evaluation? Because it's my first time doing that. Much love to the community. Thank y'all for talking. Appreciate it.
Man, I
Indeed,
appreciate you, bro.
I want to say this to you, man. Like,
Yes, sir.
you have thought the entire while that you've been in this religion and preaching this religion that you were called to do the narrow, right? That this road would be hard, right? This is what we're taught as Christians, right? And you accepted it willfully, knowing that this road would be hard, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So what I'm saying is you have an opportunity to really do that. You see what I'm saying? And I know this. I know it hurts. I can hear it. And I was worse. I mean, obviously this is not you just now finding out, but if you would have heard me, man, it was over, bro. I couldn't stop crying. It was just a scream kind of. So like, I know what you feel like, but I want to tell you this, man, like it's really I look, here's the bright side. You actually fulfilled the allegory. This story of this person, Jesus, okay, was supposed to be enlightened, who said things that disagree with God. Where God said stone people, he was saying don't. This man was thinking on a different level in the literature. Christ was crucified on Golgotha, right? Mm-hmm. Golgotha means place of the skull.
Yeah.
Right? Place of the cranium. This is where your third eye is, or your intelligence is. Basically, whenever your intelligence or your kundalini energy rises to your skull, you will be enlightened. And when you start speaking the truth, it is there that you will be crucified, because people are not going to like what you say. And what happened with the story of Jesus? People didn't like what he was saying, right? And it was the preachers. Right. It was the very preachers that was teaching this literature. Remember the incident where the preacher was saying, "Hey Jesus, these people just eating their food. They ain't even washing their hands. You're supposed to wash your hands like this, and this just to eat." They was creating ridiculous rules. They had a chair they would sit in, so to speak, called the Moses chair, where they was rewriting their own commandments, telling people to do extra stuff. So when they tried to run this by Jesus, Jesus says, "Listen, everybody, I want everybody's attention. Whatever you eat, just pray over it." That was not what they wanted to hear. They wanted to hear you got to do your hands, wash your hands, and throw salt over your shoulders just to eat. That's what they wanted to hear, right?
Right.
Whenever they wanted to catch Jesus up in a lie or catch Jesus up and prove that he wasn't God, they said, "There's a woman who needs to be stoned. Let's see what you do." And Jesus said, if you have not sinned, cast the first stone. In the Bible, here they are shocked that this man didn't do it. He's supposed to be the Son of God. And yet he didn't carry out a law that was supposedly given by God.
Yeah.
You would think the crowd would say, "Wait a second, bro. We have been stoning people for the last so-and-so years. And now you show up telling us not to? Like, you the one, you say you God. You the one told us to do it. So how can you tell us now that we wrong?" Right? This is why they hated this man. This is why they set out to find him and kill him, pay Judas to find him, to expose him, so they could kill this man, because he was disagreeing with their literature or their teachings. You see what I'm saying? And so this is what's going to happen to you. You are going to be crucified. The people who love you are going to be the very people that crucify you, that say he ain't who we thought he was. This is exactly what they judged Jesus, right?
Right.
And then they crucified him. So in between a murderer and a thief, it just goes to show where they'll put you just for disagreeing with their thoughts. You understand? I have been called a murderer, a thief, gay, you name it, man. You name it. I have been called it simply because I disagree with what they say. So I have been put on that cross right beside murderers and rapists. The literature is an allegory, and you embodying that. I would actually say to you that this is something that you should be excited about. You reached the pinnacle. Your whole life you wanted to see the truth. And that's how I felt. My whole life, man, I wanted to know God and get closer to the truth. And when I finally got there, it broke my heart. You see what I'm saying? But now I actually accept it. It's like, this is exactly what I'm truly free now. And this is what you can do. You can actually, you're free, and you're going to be able to free other people. You're going to be the catalyst that's going to cause people to say, "Well, I knew that dude, and I knew he was a good man." And now he's coming out saying that what he's been teaching his whole life is false, and he's willing to show the right thing. Man, you're going to have people that be mad at you, but you're going to have a lot more people who's going to say, "I'm about to go out there," because they already on this realm, on this side of reality. They already understand the things that you're talking about now. You see what I'm saying? They can hear it in your voice. So a lot of these people are going to want to come out and hear what you have to say. And I just wanted to say that to you, man. Just you, Jesus.
Thanks.
You have enlightened. The dead has risen. You have risen from the dead. You were asleep, and now you are resurrected, and you about to go show everybody your scars and say, look, I was freaking wrong. You see it? I was wrong, and I'm here to tell you that, right? So that's the whole allegory, man. You can become that person that you've been spending your whole life worshiping.
Yep.
Man, I needed that right there.
Good.
And I'm gonna tell you something, Pastor. It's gonna be, to be honest with you, it's only gonna be so long that you can pretend, right? That you're preaching, because like the logic in you is always gonna take over the fantasy. I'm sure Renz could tell you that. And you see how Kev is very rambunctious in his thoughts, right? Sometimes I watch Kev and Josh videos and I'll be laughing. I was like, yo, that was me about 3 years ago. I used to tear people up. But I realized, like, when the student is ready to learn, the teacher shall appear, right? And what's going to happen with you? What's going to happen with you? You might have people come up to you in your congregation and say, I noticed something different about you. That's when you have the real conversations. Because what's going to happen is like the old adage goes with the two bulls. It said, let's run up and do all these cows. And it's let's walk up and do one of the cows. No, let's walk up and do all of them. And that's how it is. It's a very soft path, man. See, Kev is a Virgo, and I know a lot about Virgos. If you're a Virgo, correct, Kev?
Yes, sir.
Right. And Virgos are they're teachers, right? My ex was a Virgo. They're teachers. They're great teachers. They're great lawyers, right? Because they like how I'm a Capricorn. They focusing on something.
I'm a Capricorn.
Man, join the club. We the truest sign in the zodiac. But we lock in on something, and and once we lock in, that's it. You understand where I'm coming from?
Yep. I feel you. That's
it. I just want to tell you, like, listen, it's gonna be a lonely path, but it's gonna be a fun path, right? Because the more you learn, the more you're gonna want to learn, right? That's why I watch Kev and I watch Lorenzo. I love Lorenzo's stories, right? Like I can't wait because Atlanta's like my second home. I just haven't been there because I've been big. But when I'm gonna catch with Lorenzo and I'm gonna do the stories with him because I love it. It's like once you get around like-minded people, your battery is recharged. Like you won't feel so like drained. You understand where I'm coming from? And
I feel you, bro.
That's why you gotta. But like I say, it's only gonna be a certain amount of time you can pretend, right? Because your mind is just gonna take control of you. Your logic is gonna be like, all right, man, But you just have to learn when and where. If you learn once you master that, then you're gonna be, Oh, I would say like this: give people certain books and movies to watch, right? Like I tell people, movie to watch is Last Dragon. Because if you watch that movie, he searches the whole movie looking for something that was already in him.
Some Dumb Goy. Right? Some Dumb Goy. That was the name of it. Yep.
Right. Yeah. And you know what's crazy, Kev? If you remember through the whole movie from the beginning to the end, you hear that little soft song in the background. When you find it, you will possess the glow, right?
Absolutely.
And, obviously that's the Kundalini and that's the knowledge of the self, right? Because we all are the last dragon, right? We just have different things to master. And once you master it, you're a monster. That's it.
As facts, I love that. The only thing that I disagree with, Andre, is that Capricorn is the best sign.
Yeah, we are.
Now I'm gonna tell you why. Because I'm gonna tell you why. This is the Virgo in me. They say if you're gonna say something, you need to state facts. Let's just go. I'm gonna take you. Let's just say we're dealing with the Western zodiac, which is 12 symbols. If you go back to the older zodiac, okay, that's 13 signs. Each sign is supposed to be 30 degrees, 30 days, which we know that's not true. The Virgo is 45 degrees, 45 days long, the longest zodiac. Now, watch this. You want your babies to be born in Virgo. Number one, that's when it's harvest time and it's warm. You don't want your babies born in Capricorn. It's freezing. You want to get pregnant under Capricorn so you can have your babies in Virgo. Like straight up. Plant your, like you're an earth or fire sign. Satan goes to hell under Capricorn. So you plant your seed in the dirt, which is hell, during Capricorn. And during the harvest season, here comes your bread. I am the bread bringer. I feed the world. Now watch this. This was this was crazy. Virgo on the zodiac, on the body chart is your stomach. Now what I do is I learn information, I break it down, and then I redistribute it to people. Now, that's what your stomach does. It breaks your food down into nutrients. And
like
this is why your stomach is associated with Virgo. What's your sign on the zodiac body? Thighs? You ain't nobody to me.
Thighs in the breast, right?
That's what I'm trying to tell you. Jesus was the Virgo. You understand? Like, this was supposed to be
Right.
like, y'all ain't got nothing on us, bro. That's all I'm saying.
You know Jesus didn't exist, right?
I do know that, but I'm the whole point though is that he was born in Bethlehem to bring you bread. Cristo was a Virgo. All these gods were Virgos because they was born under the harvest. I'm just letting you know. You the devil. You are the devil. I'm Virgo.
Got gluten. I don't.
No, unleavened bread. Look, unleavened bread is what we bring.
Okay. Now you're eating matzo crackers.
No, matzo. And here's why. Virgos are modest.
Crackers now.
Yeah, real talk. Because here's why though. Virgos are modest. We don't get in our ego like that. And yeast is symbolic of ego because it puffs up. So this is why you take the leaven. This is why Jesus gives you leavened bread, because he's humble.
Right.
With all the knowledge he has in the world, he never gets boastful about it. Right?
Right. Exactly.
Virgo better than Capricorn. That's all I'm saying.
Absolutely not. But I hear what you're saying. That's definitely, I definitely hear what you're saying.
I wasn't gonna join into that nonsense.
Please join in, friend. Go in, bro.
But this Libra scale over here got to bring some balance.
Now Libra is a beast. I can't hate on Libra. Libra is definitely a beast.
And listen, a Libra can't even decide whether to go right or left on the highway.
Yeah,
make a decision to stay their life. Man.
Yeah, Libra couldn't even find no flaws in Jesus. Libra got to judge Jesus and said he was perfect.
Yo, Ren, this is a true story, right? Real quick, I dated a Libra chick in Toronto, right? She begged me to come up, right? When I got up there, I was homeless for 2 days. She didn't know what she wanted to do. I was homeless in Toronto for 2 days walking around. So that's how I feel about Libra.
Look, you the same way as somebody on here. They associating all Virgos with one. There's like Virgos can be manipulative though. Now I will tell you that is a dark side of the Virgo. That's a dark side of a Virgo, is that because they're so good at talking. I was manipulative at one point. Thought I was teaching the truth, but I was teaching what I thought was true. That is, I was convincing people without proof. I was manipulating them. Absolutely.
Right. Just like you think Virgo is a good sign. So I understand.
y'all just misunderstanding the power of the Libra and the fact that we bring balance. You see, we can see the benefits and the problems with both sides so that we can find perfect balance. See, we can separate all that false stuff and then pull just from the truth so we can just have the balance of knowledge. We balance the spirit and the body and the mind. So y'all can't understand. We balance the chakras. That's why we got
but that makes sense, because she probably felt that I didn't belong in her house. So let me balance you out by teach you how to be homeless for a couple of days. That definitely makes sense.
The problem is, as that cold Capricorn, you need to understand and have gratitude.
Yeah, because you're the devil. You go.
No, listen. It was a great, honestly, friends. It was a great experience, because what I did was I literally walked around. I know Toronto as if I lived there for 5 years. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate it for me being homeless. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate that.
Y'all crazy.
I appreciate all of y'all, man. I appreciate all of y'all. Thank you.
Hey, thank y'all again. I don't know how to hang this up, but y'all don't even know, man. Been a great help. Thank y'all so much.
Oh man, I'm honored, bro.
And, what's your YouTube channel? What's your
YouTube
channel?
I'm from Pastor to God. I no longer have a problem with that whole God thing because I understand it now. And I know I'm co-creator. I know that.
That's what's up. And I'll definitely go check out your information, man, and all that stuff, man. Whenever you are ready, you let me know, brother. Because, like, if you need us to be there any kind of way for you, man, you just let us know. We all in this together. You understand? Yeah. Like, our goal, and myself and Lorenzo was talking about this the other day, if we can make it a little bit easier for the next person to come out than it was for me, and then the next person to come out for you after that, if we can just, because it'll be more of us every time. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Like the same way that, like, you know, when I first came out, I had, you know, Ray Hagers and the African Village try to come in behind me and have my back and things like that. Now, of course, I got Josh and Lorenzo, who really always there. Lorenzo comes on pretty much anytime I ask him to. Don't charge me nothing. It'll sit here for hours. Like, man, we will do whatever it takes to help each other, bro, because people gonna respect you for that. Like, you could literally, nobody knows who you are. You could go back and just keep on preaching and making your money, man. But you willing to say, you know what? I'm not willing to lie to people. That's big, man. Like, you don't understand how big that is.
Man.
Right.
Once I know I can feed these other 5. If it was just me, I'd be out right now. I ain't got a problem with being out on the street if it was just me.
Right.
But I got 2 of my cousins that, well, I better not say too much. You can identify, but I'm taking care of 5 people right now, man.
My situation was totally different. I wasn't the pastor of the church. I was a youth pastor, associate pastor. So I wasn't getting paid from the church. I was actually working a sales job. You understand what I'm saying? So I didn't
Yeah.
really have anything to lose in that area. So I got fired from my job though, so I definitely did lose. I wasn't expecting that, but if I had been employed with the church, I don't know if I would have done it the same way. I definitely would have done it, but I don't know if I had done it the same way. I probably would have, because I was just so freaking upset that this dude wasn't real, and I was going to tell everybody. You know what I mean? And I look back at it now and be like, man, maybe I shouldn't have done it in the way I did, because the people who went to my church, they literally all cut me off and demonized me. Like every church in my city, man, was preaching about me, saying, don't even watch the video. It's a demon. And if you watch it, you can be possessed with a demon. Not be convinced to have logic, but you're going to get possessed from watching what I'm saying. You see what I'm saying? To scare people out of even witnessing the information. So, you know how the Bible says a prophet's least respected in his own hometown. It's really, man, that scripture just came to life for me whenever that happened, because like in your own hometown is where people ain't gonna respect what you're saying. That's just old Kevin. What do you know? You see what I'm saying?
Right. Can I ask y'all one question? I don't want to take up too much of your time. I got one question. I want to tell y'all my levels. I ran into Hebrew Israelites, and then I started following on the black presence in the Bible. And then when I found that out, that I just was like, wait, they lied to us. Why did they whitewash it? Then I started peeling back another layer, and then I ran into Walter Wood, and I'm like, layer after layer, I ended up here. So what I've been doing is just slowly, but taking the people through the levels I went through slowly, hoping they're gonna arrive where I am now. Because I just got finished breaking down how, number one, the token of circumcision, they think them people over there in Israel, the real Jews. I don't believe it. Those are Khazarians, and so I'm taking them through those same levels, hoping to get them to where I am now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I don't know how y'all feel about that, and
No, that's a good way. If it led you to your awakening by going about it, because I think that's what a lot of us forget. We forget the process that it took us to wake up. We remember the day we woke up, but we don't remember like all the years. It's because, man, I went from believing in Christmas to totally knowing it was wrong. You understand what I'm saying? I went from believing that tithe was okay and giving my tithe to reading the Bible and literally understanding that tithe was never asked for in the form of money. Melchizedek accepted a tithe from my man one time, and that was it. And it was off the spoils of war. So all this stuff that my preachers and stuff was teaching me about being cursed, I realized this was crazy. You ain't even a Levite, and yet you asking me for my money and things of that nature, telling me I'll be cursed. So when I learned this stuff way before I got to where Jesus didn't exist at all. And so that's why I be trying to tell people, like, even when you watch the Carlson Pearson, since we're doing a review on that, of course, today, you got to remember the process of the journey. People don't wake up all of a sudden. The brain, man, is very powerful. And when you've had a core belief, it takes a little while to unravel that. You feel me? So I think it's actually intelligent to show them a way out instead of just say Jesus don't exist, so your belief is false. You know what I'm saying? Because that's not, they're hearing that already. What these people need to do is see the proof without hearing the actual sum. For instance, if I can show you the math without actually telling you the verdict, I might can get you to listen. But if I tell you Jesus doesn't exist first, you ain't gonna want to hear nothing I say. So if I can show you here, like a person was telling me, I take phone calls with people who just walked away from religion. They give me a small donation. I'll just sit on the phone with them and try to give them information. And one lady was telling me that she talked to her friend and was like, can I talk to you about Jesus and him not being real? And the first thing she said is, oh, no, I can't hear that, and left. Like literally got up and left. Like didn't even want to hear it, man. It goes to show how much we protect what we know. Like when you tell somebody the truth and they tell you you're lying and they know it's the first time they heard it, they can tell you that you're lying though. That's when you know that it's going to be very difficult to deal with somebody. Like you're telling them information they've never even heard, but because they want to keep their belief, they're going to tell you that you're lying. You see what I'm saying? And then we know that Christians are already prepped and taught to believe that you're possessed when you disagree with the literature. So you're going to have to deal with that as well. So believe me, people are going to be thinking that you got a demon in you. I mean, if you watch this movie with Carlton Pearson, whenever Carlton walked away, a lady walked up to his wife and tried to pray for her. You see what I'm saying?
I remember that.
And I promise you, this is going to happen, man. People are going to do that. So just expect it. And understand that it's nothing that you did wrong. It's from their mental paradigm. They are taught that when you leave the fold that you should be prayed for. They are taught to demonize you. They are taught to cut you off. This is what they're taught to do. So don't look at it as personal attacks. Look at it and understand this is part of your new journey, and stuff gonna fall away. If you losing weight, the pounds gonna shed off, right?
Right.
The ultimate goal is that you get a certain weight. Just look at the people that falling away. It's just unwanted weight. Just let them fall away and just accept what's coming. Walk into your journey. Don't worry about the rest of it. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I appreciate you taking the first step of the journey, though. That's powerful to me.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
y'all.
Yes,
Appreciate
sir.
Indeed.
And leave that Hebrew Israelite doctrine alone, brother, because it'll have you confused. Please,
Mhm.
man.
Oh, I'm
Please.
out. I'm out of that. I went
Please.
past that and beyond, and I'm
Because
I'm
I
just,
know so many people that was enlightened, right? They were right on the right path, and then they ran into a Hebrew Israelite. Well, let me show you this in the Bible, and they went right back into it. You understand? So until you like master that, until you understand that all of it is allegory, none of it is real. No Jacob, Isaac, Gideon, Ezra, none of them folk. Like, just leave it alone, man. Because they will say some things to you will have you like, oh yeah, that is kind of true. Yeah, we ought to. Nah, listen,
Facts.
nah.
listen. Am I lying, Kevin?
No, you're not lying at all.
Listen, man. I know, like, matter of fact, the rapper Chingy, he went to what you call school and mastered it. He went to my man, doctor in New York. Oh my man, I forgot his name. Good brother. Now he on some Hebrew Israelite stuff. And I talked to that. I said, come on, Chingy. Yeah, man, the Most High, man. I was like, all right, bro. All right, you good. You good.
He really got the voice though.
Yo, man, because because I know him. So it's like when I talk, because he called me. He's like, yo, Dre, me and you used to talk about that astrotheology. But look, man, the Most High got a plan. We Lions of Judah. I said, get this nigga out of here, please.
Yeah.
Please, man. I'm telling you, leave
Honestly,
that
it can happen because in the Bible, you look at the Bible and you look at how Christians celebrate. They celebrate Christmas. You know that stuff is not biblical. You look at the Hebrew Israelites, they're going to tell you that stuff is not biblical. They say,
Yes.
well, Jesus born in Christmas. They're going to tell you Jesus was not born in Christmas. They can show you that Jesus was conceived during Christmas because John the Baptist's mother is 6 months. John the Baptist is 6 months older than Jesus. So his mother was 3 months pregnant whenever Mary conceived. You see what I'm saying? So, she's 6 months pregnant. I'm sorry. So she has the baby 3 months later in March. And then 9 months later, of course, is August. And they'll show you this in the literature. The Bible doesn't say Jesus was born in August, September, but it does make it clear that that John the Baptist is 6 months older than Jesus. So they can show you in the Bible where what we call our celebrations, pagan celebrations, don't line up with the Bible because the Bible never said to do that. So that is true. The Bible never said to do that. But when you understand that Jesus wasn't born in December, he was born in the season of the harvest, you understand that this is all about where the sun was located, right? The sun was in Virgo whenever the grass and stuff started growing back, whenever the wheat started growing out of nowhere. Born of a virgin, this wheat is coming back to the earth. It was cold as crap, and now we're getting food again. The sun is in the zodiac of Virgo when this happens. That's why all these gods are born in Virgo. It literally has nothing to do with a real God. That's why 3 kings go to it, all this kind of stuff. But they took a lot of this pagan and mixed it with it. So when I try to tell people, like when you're talking about, paganism and then how the traditions, and then you start talking about, Jesus's birth isn't Christmas. It is Virgo, but every other god is Virgo. You see what I'm saying? So it's still going to be right. So Christmas is celebrating the winter solstice, not the birth of Jesus. But that's what Christians compiled it to because Constantine told them to.
Yep. Oh yeah, his name was Phil Valentine. That was the teacher that taught us. But listen,
Phil Valentine, good too.
Leave that alone. Leave that mess alone, bro. Leave it alone, please. You don't want to get caught up in that at all.
Yeah, like LeSean said, the Most High is the sun at noon. Jesus called the Most High at 12 when he's teaching in temples. And at 12 o'clock noon, the sun is the highest that it will ever be. Hence, the Most High. And why was Jesus called the Most High at 12? Why was Krishna called that? Why was Horus called that? You know what I'm saying? So when you look at all of these people who these characters were plagiarized from, they were also called the Most High at 12, which is it's just telling you the sun. So when you say Horus is the Most High, you're saying, okay, so just for real quick, let's just say we're talking about sun calculations or sun mapping. If you were to say, what time is it? The way you would say this back then, if they used the word Horus and not hero or whatever, they would say, where is Horus now? If I'm going to type the word Horus in, and if you look at that word, beside the word hours, it is what we call an anagram, which means that the words are just changed up to make a new word. Horus is hours. So what hour is it? Where is Horus? Horus is in the 12th hour. Horus is in the 11th hour. Horus is the Most High right now. He's 12. Look at him. Right, he's bringing light to the entire world. He's teaching enlightening the whole world right now with his Most High self. right?
Yep.
Jesus was 12. Why would they make it a point to tell you that Jesus was 12 years old and preaching? Why?
Yep.
Why does he goes missing again until he's 30 years old? Where was this dude from 12 to 30? So you see what I'm saying? So it's clear that this literature, I mean, and even in Easter, whenever the sun supposedly dies, it's at 33 degrees, and Jesus dies at 33.
Yes, sir.
So it's actually beautiful when you understand the allegories and how they did it. But if you think the crap is real, it'll enslave you.
Right. And that's why the New Testament, especially in the King James, which was written by Francis Bacon, the head master Mason, has all those numbers in it. And this is why he's a 33 degree masonry, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's different. That's why even in school, you're graduating as a Masonic ritual, right? You got the square on your head, the martyr square. Mm-hmm. You turn it to the side, 33. They tell you turn it 33 degrees, right?
Exactly.
You got 12 grades in high school. Mm-hmm. You understand?
Is it your tassel turn? Is it your tassel to the 33?
12-step program.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Is it your tassel 33, Andre?
Say it again.
Does your tassel is it at 33 as well?
What the tassel?
Yeah.
That's why they tell you turn it. That's if you notice, right? You ever see, and teachers don't even realize what they're doing. Teachers get mad when you don't have it. I told you to turn the hat. I'm like, God damn, I'm sorry, man. You know, it's crazy. Like they're all practicing a form of it, and people don't understand that, right? That's why you got to laugh at people who talk about the Illuminati. Like you graduated from college, then well, you did it. It's like it's all in your face, right? And that's why I say we have to, like you said, brother, is layers. So the one thing we all have to maintain is that it's fake. Once you maintain that, and that is allegory, and that is for your enlightenment, then you can conquer it. But if you're really looking for a God within it, you're always going to find a God. That's just the truth. You know what I'm saying? Because they're always going to have a God to offer you. You know?
And it's more applicable. It's more a Hebrew God is more applicable to a black person or a person who calls himself black than a European God because he looked like you. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
It's
easier. You're in poverty. Right. Like they teach you we're cursed.
And they telling you chosen too. So you're looking for affirmation and they tell you chosen. They take you at your worst when you're supposed to be cursed and all this horrible. You've been called a nigga your whole life. You know, watch your ancestors be enslaved and hung, and now all of a sudden you are a chosen people.
Right.
Let's give you all the courage you need.
To get out of this curse is follow the law, statutes, and commandments. And this is what I ask every Hebrew Israelite. Then why are the other people who doing so well, the Arabs and the Jews, who's not following the law, statutes, and commandments, is living too well? But God's people is cursed. That makes a lot of sense. So I'm supposed to be down and out because I love God. Yeah, so, I mean, it makes sense, right? I mean, at the end of the day, that's why I say you got to leave that alone because it'll have you confused. And then one day you'll be talking about, come Yashala, and then we all in trouble. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to do that, brother. You don't want to do that. Yeah, leave that alone, B.
Absolutely. And so what I want to do is I want to thank everybody for the contributions today. Thank you very much, Andre. Thank you, sir, for calling in and considering, turning it around and teaching the correct way. And, of course, thanks to you, Lorenzo, for always being there. Thanks to everybody that donated, all that good stuff. I want to ask, Lorenzo, Andre, Josh, if you guys have anything left to offer. Pastor, sir, is there anything you'd like to say before you get off? Okay, cool. Okay, Andre's going too?
I think so.
Okay, right. Okay.
I just want to say thank y'all once again. And yo, Renz, when I come check you in Atlanta, don't leave me homeless, my Libra brother. That's all.
I got you. I ain't gonna leave you homeless. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe but, once again, thank you, Josh. Thank you, Kev, man.
Indeed,
and thanks
brother.
Everybody who always watch this show, man, because I learned so much from y'all, man. And I'm just a humble person. I'm a nerd, so I love to learn from y'all people, man.
Thanks, man.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm starting my polygamy camp soon, so any ladies that want to join, man, to the Andre School of Financial Literacy and Polygamy Science, so y'all can come on down, man.
I saw Andre make a post about that. I was like, I ain't even gonna touch this.
Listen, yo, Josh, just like I said in my post, I'm just trying to get to heaven. That's all.
You'll get there a couple times. You do that.
Yo. All right, y'all.
Hey, man, real pleasure, Andre.
As always, bro.
Yes, sir. Lorenzo, man, you got any finishing thoughts for us?
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. As always, man, I just appreciate being here. As always, it's always fun. It's always a challenge. It's always interesting. Love seeing the comments and everything, and most importantly, love supporting my brother. Love supporting my brother. Like I said, one of the things is to make sure that you succeed because you succeed. Carlton succeeds. the other guy who just got off, he succeeds, then it makes it easier for each person down the line. And we start sweeping. We start sweeping the whole nation, sweeping the whole world, and getting people to come into this consciousness. Because the thing about it, and it's not even about all of us believing or agreeing to the same concepts, but just being free to determine our own lives and to determine what it is that we want to have manifested in our life so that we can then just build ourselves. Because as you know, for those who are on this channel, y'all may not know, but I am engaging myself in nation building. You know, I want Black people in America, because of what we keep on experiencing here, to start nation building in Haiti and Botswana, to just move. So for those who are interested in that kind of thought process, come on. I ain't trying to steal none of Kevin's people. Come on over, because that's what we come out over on my pages. That's one of the things we talk about, because I'm about fed up with the way Black people being treated here, and we're never going to get our ROI on what our ancestors put into this country. So let's just go ahead, and Haiti and Botswana are perfect places for us to take our talents and go to another country and just start over and build something for the next generation and next generation. So that's all I want to say about that one.
Okay, brother, that was awesome though. I'll come over and listen to you talk about that a little bit too myself, man. Lorenzo, while you're here, brother, I wanted to let you know that meeting of the minds for Charlotte, I went on ahead and canceled that event. Tickets didn't sell. I think whenever I did the video, I said it was May instead of April. So I told the people on that I'm going to chalk that one up to my fault. But of course, next month is still on for Atlanta with you and at the Apache Lounge. Okay, so don't worry about August 28th anymore. So I know you had already planned to show up and kill it, but unfortunately we weren't able to make that event. Now, you know, we talked about this before. We don't want to pay a deposit for something if we don't think people are going to show up to it, right? We're not trying to kill ourselves here. We're gonna look forward to next month, guys. And again, I'm gonna put the Eventbrite up tomorrow, so you guys will have a whole month to be able to get your tickets and make it known that you're showing up before we go give these deposits and stuff like that, guys. Because these buildings and stuff are not free; they're not, and we want to give you guys a really nice place to go to. So just make sure y'all support the link whenever y'all see it, because we want to be able to give you guys a great show. All right. And again, I just wanted to tell you, Lorenzo, while he was on, and reiterate for other people as well.
I got one more last thing though.
Mm-hmm.
Only because I saw what some people had wrote. I know some people, they said Belize on there, or why, no Belize, and Shondell asked why Haiti, basically. The idea is this, guys. There are countries that are undeveloped, but they're just one step away from being able to industrialize at a much higher rate. The reason why I look at a country like Haiti is because if you got 10,000 Black people who are going to Haiti, and everything from the top engineers down to, the janitors, to hairstylists and everything in between, football coaches. When it comes to nation building, which is one of the things I used to do in the Marine Corps, when you take 10,000 and that's what you build that infrastructure, and we do it and train the people there as well, it creates an environment where we're welcomed. For one, we're welcome because we're bringing them from third world to at least second world, if not first world. So Haiti and Botswana fit that mold where they're friendly to Black people coming there from America and from the UK. And that's why I've chosen those two countries, because it's the best opportunity. If we try to go somewhere where there's already a heavy infrastructure, then it's like moving to France or Nigeria. We're not going to make that same headway. We're competing then. But in this way, we're nation building and creating something that's not there. That's not there at all. So that's why I chose those two countries.
Someone asked me what's the dates of the Atlanta show and how much will the tickets be. That's going to be for Saturday the 26th, and those tickets are going to be $25. All right. I am going to do like some specials. If you buy, 5 tickets or whatever, they'll be less. Just like I did for the last show in Texas, I will do specials the same way for you guys. If a group of y'all want to come, I'll make it really easy for you guys to come out. And again, thank you guys in advance for any person who purchases tickets. Trust me, when you come, you are going to get so much information. But at the end of the day, like I said, once it's over, we're going to sit down, dialogue. There's going to be music. There's going to be drinks. There's going to be food. And we're going to get to know each other, have a conversation with each other, and not just sit and hear myself and Lorenzo talk. Y'all get to actually exchange numbers and build. Y'all might meet people who want to start a business similar to yours, and they may be the missing link to what you need to help you build your business. You can just build. It ain't necessarily about meeting a woman of your life or meeting a man of your life. It's about meeting somebody that can help get you to that next level, period. You know what I mean? A higher mind don't always think with its sexual parts. You know what I mean? You got to think higher intellect, connect with beings and move yourself further, right? So that's what these events are for. Myself and Lorenzo are trying to give you guys that, because you've already spoken on how lonely this road can be. I know a lot of you guys want to meet other people in your area. So if you're going to be around, make sure you come out, man. So we are doing it the 26th of next month. That is a Saturday. Tickets will be around 25 and under, based on, how many tickets you buy or whatever. So it'll be up tomorrow. Myself and Josh will make sure, Lorenzo will make sure it's up tomorrow for you guys. So, and again, hopefully you guys get the tickets. If you don't, we will cancel again. I can't do it, y'all. I can't afford to be paying for tickets. Paying for buildings if y'all can't show up to them. I just want to be honest with y'all. Honestly, it hurts to have to cancel a show that you put on Facebook and put money behind to promote it, and nobody buy a ticket. That's actually very discouraging. You know what I mean? So it already hurts me to even tell y'all out loud that y'all didn't buy tickets. You know what I mean? Because I know Christian's gonna laugh. He put out a show and nobody bought it. Yeah, it's true. I put out a show and nobody bought tickets. And what? We're gonna do one next month. Yeah. And hopefully you guys get a ticket. Don't mean Jesus real, right? Right. As long as it don't make Jesus real, I'm good.
When I did my first financial seminar, I had one person show up. So you just keep going. You just keep doing it. So we'll keep doing it regardless. So if any detractors do hear this, we don't care what you say. We're just going to keep doing it, and we'll just keep building it, and we'll just get better, and then more people join. And then, next thing you know, we'll be filling up stadiums. Mm-hmm. Then what, huh?
Absolutely. All right, cool. All right, so Josh, anything you want to say, brother, before we get off?
Not at the moment.
Okay.
I think we have some upcoming things, but I just want to, I guess, make sure those are ironed out first.
Absolutely.
But no, we're good for now.
For anyone waiting for an I Love Life shirt, you will be getting them this week, okay? Whenever they printed the shirts and they got them all ready for me the first time, there was a mistake on them, and I wasn't about to send you guys something that didn't look right. So I had them to redo them, and I'll have them tomorrow. We'll get them sent off to you guys tomorrow. You should be able to get them next week. So just for all of you guys who was emailing me asking me, hey, where's my shirt? And of course, betheevolution.org is where you want to go get those shirts. I will have people asking me about the Be the Evolution shirt that I always wear. I will put that up as soon as I hang up. As soon as we get off, I'll put that up so you guys can be able to go purchase that shirt if you'd like to get that shirt as well. So again, thank you guys for coming out. Thank you guys for sitting on here. As long as you guys always sit patiently, having fun with us and commenting. And I look forward to seeing you guys next week. And I like to say, be the evolution, be the change you want to see. And no candle loses its flame by lighting another. All right. Love you all. And with a peace. Normally Josh and everybody saying it with me, and I'm all okay. There we go. we have the worst get-offs. Like, we don't end right at all. I'm still holding up. We still live. So I think Josh does this to embarrass me on purpose. Peace. Nobody hangs up.
I'm doing it now just because you had to comment.
That's not true. All right, y'all. Love y'all.